on your phone.
For
I've got it on mine. I've got it on mine.
For the YouTube viewers, look at those sound programs.
Decline it then.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Listen to this.
Hello, this is the legend. At this moment in time, I'm not available. But if you'd like to leave your name and number, the legend will phone you back. ASAP.
Now, dear listener of podcasts, and you might have heard that on the Facebook and the YouTube. Is that the worst answer phone message? Now, this answer phone message came to light as we all travelled over to St Helens on Friday night. Legend, do you want to explain yourself? That is the worst voicemail I've ever heard.
I think it's absolutely tremendous, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you would think that. You would think that.
It is, because it proves that, like everybody knows that I'm a Bilal lad, so I'm as rough as I come. But to be honest with you,
I was on the way. I was going to say that.
had a nice couple of days down at Celtic Manor.
Is it not called Celtic Manor?
Last week. Well, Celtic, but from where I come from, Bilal, it's the old Celtic Manor. And to be honest with you, I just had breakfast on Thursday, and I had an hour to spare. So I just thought, well, I'm an OBE, I'm in the manor, I'll be like the Lord of the Manor. So I just thought, yes, I'll leave a lovely voicemail from there, and there we go. So if you want to phone the legend will phone you back.
What did you think of the voicemail that we left you? Did you like it?
Is that repeatable?
Probably not.
I'm an OB.
Is it repeatable? But yeah, so
it's a family show.
So I guess at times, I'm an OBE, I was in the manor, the Celtic Manor, I had to behave
How
like the Lord of the
how
Manor.
did your tee shot go? The first tee shot. Talk us through.
Oh mate.
Talk us through.
Do you know what? I've not played golf for nearly 12 months, as you well know, and it's one thing I never do. I never practice golf. So
I can tell.
Correct. So I went to the driving range, got 25 balls, and hit the driver nicely, hit the 7-iron, the 6-iron, the wedge, nicely warmed up. Get on the first tee, lovely.
Did you get introduced onto the tee?
No, there were no introduction, but they put me as the captain, and I wouldn't have played if I wouldn't have been the captain anyway, to be honest with you.
Did you get sacked after your first shot?
So I was there, lovely, whoosker! Knobbed it 10 yards. Absolute pathetic. Absolute pathetic. And to be honest with you, to go from feeling like the Lord of the Manor, I felt as though I was like my grandson, 2 years of age. I was absolutely useless. Oh. But to be honest with you, it was a par 4. I had a 5 on the hole. I hit a 6-iron up.
We're not bothered.
No one's
interested.
We don't want to hear about
no one's interested. You bodged your first shot. That's all we bother.
Well and truly bodged it. I well and truly bodged it.
Anyway, we're moving on now. Right. We've got to talk about rugby.
I've got to apologise to the viewers because cock up, right? Forgot my tripod, haven't I? So I will tweet a picture of it in a minute. We're all back to front because we'll have to do the camera so I can see us. So
Yeah.
So everything's back to front on Facebook. On YouTube, we're the right way round.
All right, okay.
It's like Ant and Deck when they're not the right way round.
Right.
I don't want to say who's the ant or the deck of this operation. You can do that joke yourselves at home, but yeah, we're on. We're ready. We're off.
Fair enough. A bit of breaking news. People will be aware of it, I'm sure.
It's good news as well.
It's good news, and Wayne Bennett has finally done something that Gary will agree with. I think even Gary can't disagree with this move. Wayne Bennett has appointed Ian Watson of Salford and Danny Ward of the London Broncos as his assistants for the Great Britain tour.
Brilliant, absolute brilliant. If Ian Watson's done what I'd do exactly the same what I've just done with Danny Ward.
I'll give it you later.
Yeah, I've just congratulated Danny, not just on the great season, but also to congratulations being part of the Great Britain setup. If I had Ian Watson's, I would do exactly the same. Great news, delighted. Ward, we know what a great job he's doing at London. Watson, everybody knows the way that I like him, like the games he played.
Oh, someone's going to... Who is it? Who's going to get your voicemail?
Is it Ian Watson?
Is it Ian Watson? Scotty, don't ring me. I don't want your number.
It's you just
conduct your business.
I'm absolutely delighted with them appointments, and I say Watson plays the game the right way, and Danny Ward's done a great job. So yeah, Mr. Bennett, well done.
Do you think this is a hint at succession planning as well? That not only is it rewarding 2 of the great coaches of this season who have brought the best out of their players, but do you think Wayne Bennett sat down, or the people that make these appointments said, look Wayne, pick a couple of people who can spend 6 weeks in your company this winter, who you can start to inculcate in the ways that you see the game should be played and taking on what you've done, and that he's picked 2 young guys who could be... I mean, it's great for Ian Watson because as whereas the Lions principle has to mean something. It can't just be England by number 9. To get a Welshman in the coaching staff is brilliant.
Yeah.
Is Danny Ward, do you think, the next coach of England now because he's been put
Why
on the
not?
ladder?
Why not? Of course he is.
I think it's two great points. You could have gone for more experience, but I think taking those that are at the beginning of the coaching ladder is fantastic.
Hey, listen. Also as well, and I don't want to upset the London Broncos supporters, but Danny Ward would have been for any job. To be honest with you, the Leeds job's coming up, the Wigan job's coming up, every job's coming up. Danny Ward and what he's done down at London, at the London Broncos. I'm sorry to upset you, London Broncos, but if Leeds or Wigan come saying, Danny, do you fancy it? Surely he's got to take the biggest coaching job in the game of Rugby League.
When Wayne Bennett was here last week, meeting all the England squads, he said he'd like to stay in charge until the World Cup in 2021. Would you extend his contract to include that World Cup?
Listen, the point is now with the Wayne Bennett scenario, everybody seems to want him, don't they, from the top, from the players. So results what he's got, the response he has from the players, you've got to keep him, haven't you? It's as simple as that. It's a work in progress, and that progress has certainly progressed. And I say, for 2021, yes, I would keep him. Would I appoint now? Would I have appointed him the Great Britain coach? If I'm honest with you, maybe not. But anyway, he's there now. The Nines coach. He's the Nines coach as well, isn't he? I'd have given that to somebody else, to be honest with you. From
well,
there,
he might give that job to. You can imagine if Wales are going that. Ian Watson will now be the coach of that Wales team if John Keir doesn't want to go halfway around the world at the end of a long season, because Watson's going to be there anyway. You'd assume that maybe...
John Keir won't give a freebie to Australia.
Oh,
not a chance.
You'd also assume maybe Danny Ward might coach the England Nines team because he's out there with Wayne Bennett overseeing him. Yeah. You've got Paul Wellens to come back into the mix, who hasn't given up his job as an assistant. You've got three really good... On the other side of that coin, because we didn't really get a chance to mention it last week because it was still a developing story, should we be worried that Sean Long and Martin Gleeson have gone to rugby union?
Doesn't it, I'm going to play the flip of this one, doesn't it mean there are more opportunities for more coaches in rugby league?
But have their two clubs invested a lot in those players now to see them not be able to make an impact in rugby league?
No, I think that's the way of the world. You should want your people to be sought after. It means they're doing something right. If Sean Long had done a rubbish job, he won't get...
I have to take this mums up.
Well, you'll have to go. You'd have to whisper it. As well.
We keep saying as well that, we don't want to see a talent drain to rugby union on the basis of the fact that obviously it has an impact on Super League. Should we be worried that some of our top young coaches are going to rugby union?
No, I think it's look. You can't. Well, all right. So if they all stay in their job, what happens to the next batch?
No, but should they be the next head coaches?
But there's only so they may well. I think it's a good thing. I think you should want your players. You should want your people.
I don't think Saints lose anything. Sean Long, absolute legend at the club, not a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're going to give Richard Marshall the opportunity to get back into the sport, then I don't think Saints have lost anything.
Yeah.
But it's rare that we get two top assistant coaches in a league through and through would go to rugby union.
It shows that they're looking, doesn't it? It shows that everything we do is being analysed. And I think Richard said it last week. We've told them how to attack. Now we're telling them how to defend.
Or even the other way around.
Well, yeah. I
tell you what, you look at the Eddie Jones. You look at the coach himself. I think he's got around about 29 backroom staff, hasn't he, Eddie Jones? So what's his responsibility? What's he doing?
Getting the teasing.
Do those interviews.
He's got the company credit card.
Interesting. But no, as I say, we're moving forward now. We're getting back the British way, and there's no better person to learn from than Wayne Bennett. There's no two ways about that.
Why didn't you learn from him then?
I did.
You learned that spending a night at his place didn't involve.
No, it were 9 nights, and now I've learned to go to bed at 8 o'clock at night. That's what I learned. And but no, I've never said that Wayne Bennett's not a quality coach. Never ever said that and what have you. Yeah, I've had me. But also as well, one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to do. And I was speaking to somebody at the Celtic Manor as well, who was down there, who is a part of the Great Britain setup. That one thing I don't agree with, I don't want any Australians playing for Great Britain. And this person said, Scott, we'll make sure it doesn't happen. listen to Wayne Bennett's going to happen, but listen to this other guy, it's not going to happen.
Think
But I don't want it to. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to see Australians in our dressing room, and also as well. I'll say it now, and I'll repeat. I'll keep saying it to people. I know we're talking about Jackson Aces, we're talking about Blake Austin. Blake Austin and Jackson Aces aren't good enough for City Country in Australia. So why are they good
what
enough?
about Lachlan Coote?
Lachlan Coote.
I'll consider him played for Scotland, so it's not as if it's a flag of convenience. He has actually played for Scotland, and this is the British Lion.
Rich, Phil. At the end of the day, I said I don't want Australian playing for us, so no, I don't want him in. I don't want him in. It's not a position where we're lacking. But and I say, what I'll say is, as I was just going to finish from there, we Austin and Hastings wasn't good enough for City Country. So why are they good enough now to put our international jersey on the Great Britain jersey?
What you need to do if you're on social media is praise players from clubs who have lots of fans on social media. And that's exactly what I did this week. Picked up no new followers. That was a bit of a failure. Ratu Nalago, he should be in the Great Britain squad. Or the England 9 squad at the very least.
Or Fiji.
Well, no, we're having him.
Yeah, we've claimed him. It's
He's
like
got-
cricket. He's
First,
ours now.
He's ours now. He's in the army. We're having him.
Yeah.
He should be in the 9 squad. At the very least, shouldn't he? That try he scored from the actual length of the field.
The great thing about him, and I think it's probably appropriate to talk about internationals at the head of the show. 'Cause
Yes.
we need to make comment on the fact that we didn't have an international window over here, and I think we missed out on something this weekend. But staying on Nalago, doesn't that prove that there is talent out there that we're not mining?
Yeah.
That it's Hull have come up with arguably the find of the season.
Mm.
But and full credit to their network for spotting him playing in the British Army and bringing him on board.
Hey Phil, I'm going to tell you.
But there must be other players
Hey Phil,
playing in the services, the student game.
Phil,
There's got to
I'll tell
be
you, Phil,
a reservoir of talent that we're not tapping into.
Phil, I'll tell you, Lee Radford is looking at another one in because I'm the ambassador for the forces. I went to the semi-final, I went to the final at Sheffield, and Lee Radford is looking at another guy in the forces, a centre, bit raw, but I'll tell you what, he's athletic, he's big, he can tackle. I like the way they play the backs nowadays. I used to, like Josh Griffin does and what have you. Yeah, he spotted one again in the
And isn't this another reason why, if you do bring reserve grades back, which we think is happening next year, that's where you trial all these people, and we used to do that.
Yeah.
You know, even if you have a couple of rugby union players, you don't really know whether they're going to make it. You've got an avenue by which you can try them. You don't have to bring them into a first team squad.
I'll tell you what another one is found, and me and Matt were speaking about him at the weekend. What about Buchanan the centres? How good is this kid? I'll tell you what, he has found one there as bad as I like that Buchanan.
I just
like
think
him.
Nalago is a brilliant example of people that just adapt fantastically to rugby.
Phil, do you know what the big problem is? Do you know what the big problem is? Right? Because they don't come through the systems. I've told you the sort of situation with Alex Walmsley, and it's still the situation now. Because they don't come through the system at 13 and 14 and 15 and 16, and they see him at 18 and 19, it's too late for them. Absolute load of toss, because all the 19-year-olds are coming through the system have been thrown on the scrap heap, and there's loads of talent out there who are ready at 19, 20 and 21, but they don't, because they've been through the system, they haven't eaten the chicken, they haven't eaten their eggs, they haven't eaten the steak, they haven't eaten the salad, they haven't eaten the pasta, they haven't gone to bed at 8 o'clock. It's not good enough for them. What a lot of toss.
Isn't that a classic example as well? Alex Walmsley.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, he wasn't picked up by the age of 19, so he went into the student game and made such an impact with Leeds Met that Batley then pick him up, and then he ends up at St Helens, and now he's arguably one of the greatest props in the world. We don't look at areas where even people are playing rugby league enough.
No, I agree.
Well, we are sending people, but these scouts, I'll tell you, these scouts are saying, nah, not good enough.
But also, they haven't got anywhere to play the guys. It's to Hull's credit that not only have they found somebody, but he's good enough to play in the first team, and looks like he's been there for years. I mean, the try he scored at the Dragons.
Well, he's scoring tries like that every week though now, isn't it?
But that was as good as anything we've seen. I know there were a lot of highlight tries this week, but that was one of the great tries.
But also as well, when you watch him play, and I tell you what, I think you saw a different aspect of Danny Houghton's game as well at the weekend, because rather than Danny just scooting with his head down and not looking to pass, he was playing with that vision. What he was doing, he was scooting, and then rather than just going straight, he was looking to go to the angles, he was looking to go to the edges, and I'll tell you what, he's changed a little bit.
Is that because he doesn't
Houghton
have to play 80 minutes anymore?
Well, Danny likes playing 80 minutes.
But he doesn't have to do 60 tackles in 80 minutes and not look at the rest of his game. Now he can be more of an all-round player.
But also,
because he's having a rest for part of the game.
But we talk about Nalago, that winger. I tell you what, when he gets the ball and he goes clear, what does he do? He looks he looks for that vision to see who's supporting inside. It's not like
that pass to Albert. That
you know,
pass to Albert.
but it's not like you say like a man in a fire and man just go see you later and going around you. What this kid has got, he's playing with that vision and awareness. He's making a break. He knows he's got the pace, but you know what he's doing? He's thinking and taking the easy option rather than me trying to be the superstar and what. He's taking the easy option. Tell you what, the kid's quality.
So Hull linked with Mahe Fanua. Where's he going to play?
Well,
Because you'd have to say now Largo,
Doncaster,
Rhinos. They're going to have an embarrassment of riches, and you want kids like Buchanan to get more game time.
He's found one as well as.
It's a great example of how ridiculous Super League is this season, because a few weeks ago when Hull were rubbish, I think I was saying, Lee Bradley might be a bother, and now he's like,
someone said to me, it was Stephen Coates on Twitter, why is Radford not in the GB setup? Well, we don't know that, do we? But he's having a while. I have to admit, I've had a bet now. This is scuppered. Yeah. I've had a bet on him because I've got a colleague in the media who's a big Hull fan, and every time Hull win, he's always texting me, and I'm like, shut up, I'm not bothered. So now I've had a bet on them to win the league and win the cup, and had a double at 90 to 1 the double. Just so if they do win, then at least I'll better go out and get drunk and ignore what he's saying. But never mind. They're flying, Hull. Yeah, I thought they'd have a poor year. I really did. But people are playing well. They're playing. Some are playing above themselves. Some are playing brilliant. And like I said in the Largo, just made such a difference. They've got X factor all over their backline. Kelly, Connor, etc. Yeah. But what I want to do, we're obviously going to look at the bottom of the table. I want to ask a question here and now.
Do you want to just do a bit more on international rugby league?
I just want to put the question out there. We'll come back to my question in a bit. Is Steve McNamara under pressure? Yes. The Dragons, ridiculous. They're fourth in the table. But they're getting hammered every week. They're getting out. There are no excuses. They're getting hammered every week. I want to know what the people at home think about that. Right, back to you.
Well, on McNamara very quickly, because it is international. It's Catalans Dragons.
Yeah. Well, they're spending all that money they're generating anyway. I think that was a bit of a boo-boo, wasn't it?
Bernard Gouache is a very loyal man, as we saw last year when we thought that Steve McNamara was one game away from perhaps getting sacked, and they turned that around, which included winning the cup, and it was Gouache that stayed with him. So I think something major would have to happen for him to change his mind. My worry for Steve's security of tenure at the moment is it's happening at home. If they were losing by the magnitude they did and in the manner that they did away from home, then I think that there's almost an acceptance that that's a bit French, that's the way they are, and whilst it's not an excuse to travel in, it's always been an issue. But the one thing they have had is the sanctuary at home, that they were very hard to beat. Well, this year, Salford beat them by 40, Hull have just beaten them by 50. That is going to impact upon the 1,500 people they get having that 6-course meal after the game, and all of the money that generates. They are very proud people, the Catalonians, and if that name is being wounded at home. Yeah, but Bernard's body language during the game on Saturday was, if you'd have put one of my meat cleavers in my hand, I would have gone and assaulted somebody. He looked absolutely livid. Now, what have they got to do for the rest of the season to build? Now, obviously, they need to stay in the top 5. Priority number 1. They've got 20 points. We said that's probably the threshold for not being relegated. But they could quite easily drop out the 5. They could even drop out the 5 this week if they lose. At what point do Catalan decide that our defence of the cup was woeful?
It was awful. It was embarrassing.
If we don't finish in the top 5, is that a disastrous season? Bearing in mind we recruited to build on winning last year.
Yeah, what is there? Forgive me, I'm probably missing one out. They went to Hull, they got absolutely battered.
Yeah.
They went to Warrington, we saw them at Warrington where they were 4-0 up and ended up conceding 30 odd points and getting battered there.
Saints, they got heavily beat.
Did they lose at Saints? They lost at home to London.
Yep. But they didn't just lose. It wasn't just that they lost at home to London. London put them to the sword. London were brilliant, but when you are that proud Catalan fan base, which again, brilliant that Hull took so many, but that's a massive thing for Catalan to welcome in 1,500 to 2,000 away fans.
Yeah.
And then they leave singing all the songs, and you're putting your head down, can't get out of the vicinity quickly enough because of the way that you play. They shouldn't be 50 points worse than the team they're next to on the league.
No. Have we got a beat one?
No. People on the internet are very concerned that Phil's lost weight, and I'm just told them, no, we've always got bigger.
Yeah, we just
So
got
it's the same.
fatter. Yeah.
Okay.
International Rugby League.
It depends, what are you going to swear about?
I was going to swear about Matty Smith. We might as well
Oh,
talk about it
recruitment.
now.
Yeah.
Because I was in the presence of a Super League coach at the weekend who said, "Why did they sign Matty Smith?" You know what you said. You remember what you said? He's killing them. He's killing the way they play.
Well, I'm led to believe as well. Somebody's told me that I've been getting a bit of stick as well. I'm a bit too harsh on Mike Smith. I'm not harsh on Mike Smith.
That was me.
So,
I told him that on
yeah,
Friday.
yeah.
I saw Stoltz go.
Yeah, Richie mentioned it, so I thought to myself, no, it's Mark. It's exactly the same with Richie Myler. It's quite simple with Richie Myler at Leeds, and I said that when Leeds signed him 2 years ago now, and with Matty Smith. They're quite simple, not up to the job what these clubs have brought them in for. So unless they realise that they've got to drop them and leave them out and forget about them and bring somebody else in, well, I'm afraid to say they're the problem. They are the problem, and we can blame forwards, we can blame this and blame that, but I know myself, I played behind a pack of forwards who weren't very good and didn't really lay a lot of foundation, but a little bit of foundation I worked off. But these, they're that bad, they can't even work off it. They're that slow in everything what they do, in the process what they do. Quite simply, they're not good enough. And I think did I say it 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago? Steve McNamara is a quality coach. Steve McNamara is a very intelligent coach. So why can't Steve see it that Matty Smith is far too slow? And also to the Leeds coaches, the coach at Leeds with Richie Myler, why can't they see it that they're not good enough? And I don't understand.
To be fair, given all the transfer speculation we will come on to, I think Leeds have realised. There's no doubt about that. They've realised. They have.
I think the other thing about Matty Smith that is slightly different is that they didn't need to actually bring him in. That he wasn't replacing anybody, but what it did do was upset the equilibrium of what they had, which is why it seems such an odd turn. They obviously had to get somebody to replace Josh Drinkwater, but when you looked at...
Well, no, they did. They chose to let him go.
They've got a 6 in Lange. They've got Sam Tompkins and they've got Tony Gigo. Why didn't they need to bring in Matty Smith in the first place?
Well, they didn't. Do you know what?
Well, as the Tompkins signing works.
Well,
in fairness, hasn't it?
Do you know what? It's like... It's
not in the way they hoped it would, that is for sure.
When I see the outside backs of Catalans, and it's exactly the same when I see the outside backs at Leeds, when they get the ball, they go, oh, bloody hell, fire. That's far too slow, I'm getting walloped. They're crying out for early ball. But these two guys are too slow in everything what they do. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, the service, what they're giving out from there. And it's quite simple. It's simple. You drop them and you don't play them anymore. Simple as that. Simple.
For all the Facebook people who just tuned in, it's back to front because I've cocked up.
What does that mean? It's back to front. Surely they can see us though.
Yeah, no, it's just everything's the wrong way around because the camera's at the front. So.
Yeah, what you mean these are the wrong way around?
Yeah, and me book on the front and everything. So we're pretending we're in Russian.
Its origin is...
So we're in Russian hats.
We're in Russian.
Yeah, Russia. We want to get a job on Russia today because we don't do enough propaganda on this programme. Do you want to talk about internationals?
Yes.
Well,
Speaking of propaganda, here's Nigel Wood in the paper today.
Hold on, can we now refer to him as Gary's mate, Nigel?
Gary's mate, Nigel Wood, CEO of the Rugby League International Federation, says, and I quote, "We have witnessed another wonderful weekend of international rugby league. You might have, Nigel, but it wasn't on me bloody telly, was it?"
Yeah, another disaster.
That's your company, your federation. You own the rights. You sort it out and put it on proper telly.
That aside, I think we have missed a real opportunity in the Northern Hemisphere. Well, you wouldn't have normally said that. You haven't got a vested interest, have you? He was trying to defend it. We had, from Friday night, when there was a World Cup qualifier, right through to Saturday early evening, which was afternoon Jamaica time, a raft of internationals. And if you go on social media and just watch the hackers, it's enough to show you how much it means. It included a couple of women's games. State of Origin isn't international, but it was dovetailed into that weekend so that it had that feel of something that wasn't a club weekend. The players absolutely loved it. The fans turned up in big numbers. What did we have over here? Nothing. I think we just really missed an opportunity. You know, we had players who decided they were going to play for Samoa rather than New Zealand, who would have walked into the New Zealand team. We had the resurgence of New Zealand in front of 23,000, the biggest crowd for a rugby league game at Mount Smart because the Tongans took over the stadium. We had PNG playing the Lebanese, who finally did manage to overcome some political issues that they had to resolve. So the Cook Islands are now playing America in a World Cup qualifier for one of them to come over and be the 16th team in the World Cup. Everything was focused and centred on what wasn't our domestic competition. And I just think we missed that opportunity. There isn't an answer to what we would have done here if we'd have had the window. It might well have been that, provided the Catalans were prepared to release their players, that England or England Knights went and played in France. We saw the wheelchair team played a 2-test series in France, which if you got the chance to see the highlights of that, France, the world champions, we beat them in the first game, first time they'd ever lost on home soil, narrowly beaten in the second game. Why do we do it in wheelchair but we don't do it with our senior teams? You know, the women's competition carried on this weekend. We should have had a women's international. And yes, there will be some issues with who you play to give you the standard that you need, but we owe it to the French. We heard this debate before. How did New Zealand get better? By getting beaten by Australia. So we have an obligation to play the French to help them get better. And it's always harder to play them in France if they've got access to everybody who plays for them. So instead of seeing the Dragons getting heavily beaten at home, shouldn't that have been the French national team playing against maybe a mixture of England and England Knights, still called England, to give... Well, you know, you're trying to select the team that you think will play for England in the 2021 World Cup. Wouldn't it have been great to give some of the up-and-coming aspiring kids the chance to represent their country 18 months out with some of the established guys away in France, to give them that experience that it's always more difficult to play the French in France?
Well, back in our day, we were called the under-24s.
Fine.
You know, so
but just call it England so that you can promote
yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. You were great under 24s, but what? Yeah, I managed to get picked at 18, and so did some more lads in Joe Lyon and Andy Gregory and Lee Crooks, but also two of the experienced players who were 23, 24, who had been full internationals, and part of that, you know. So yeah, I don't mind that, but we don't seem to want to do it.
We've got the student international home nations taking place at the moment. So Scotland, Ireland, and Wales have got games. Why aren't they curtain raisers to the full national teams playing each other? Make it part of international weekend.
I agree. I watched the Fiji. Was it the Fiji game? Did they beat Papua New Guinea? You see one of them the tackle that Papua New Guinea
I didn't see it.
Jeez, it was unbelievable.
And that's the first Fijian women's team, and it was celebrated.
Yeah.
We'd seen the film about the Orchids. It's great to get out and watch them again. 10,500 watch women's state
Hey,
of
I tell you,
origin.
well, I'm just going to say that.
And how good was that?
I saw the women's state of origin. I tell you what, I was thinking to myself, Steve McNamara, Richie Hager, I tell you what, there's a quality number 6 here. There's a quality number 6 for the Blues.
Hey,
there's a quality number 6 so that she was playing with a bit of vision and awareness, playing with some depth, good service to outside backs. I thought, I tell you what, Richie, I'll give you a call in there. Have a look. And McNamara, because they're far better than the crap what you're picking at this moment in time. Honestly.
Leeds women got a 32-point start with one bookmaker at the weekend to play second division Warrington, which shows you, A, some bookmakers haven't got a bloody clue what they're doing.
Hold on, why do you ring me up?
I hope you clean
Hold
up.
on, can we just stop filming a minute? Hold on.
No, because that bookmaker's closed my account.
But
I would say, having watched Leeds score 74 points and not 32, there's a few players in that Leeds side who probably could get in the men's side at the minute.
very good. So yeah, it did feel. I'm with you. We felt like we missed out a little bit.
And I think it invigorates the domestic competition to have a break mid-season, to support your international teams, to see some kids coming through wearing the shirt, singing the anthem, doing the haka or whatever it might be, and we all rally round. And it leads up to the Lions touring in autumn. It leads up to England playing a test series against the Cat. I can't wait for the Kangaroos to come over here, because we've watched State of Origin. That, you know, the Australian team will be selected on the back of that. They'll be over here in 18 months' time.
We really should know where those games are and start selling them.
Yeah, we should.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So I think we missed a golden opportunity.
We did indeed. Right, we want to chat about the transfer speculation. I know someone's been on, because I tweeted the other day, Leeds are going to sign someone within 48 hours, and someone said, oh, 48 hours is up. We'll talk about that in a
We'll
bit.
put you in that list of really bad people on Twitter.
Yeah, no, hey, you can do. Yeah.
Who's your source?
Yeah, exactly. But I want to talk about what happened on the field first. We'll start off on Thursday. Probably the biggest game of the season so far. And London made it 3 wins from 3. A nail biter, really, at the end. They could have lost it. They won it. 3 wins on the spin. Defeat 26-24. Okay, bottom of the table. Level with Leeds, I hasten to add. But they are bottom of the table as it stands. What did you make of the game?
Well, look, yeah, again, they can score points, can't they? But they can't defend. You know, you look at the games, what they've lost, and the amount of points they scored at times. It's 22, 24, 26, and they've got beat. So there's a massive problem, a point of view, with defending. But What else can we say about London? You know, when we talk about team, you know,
Hold on, you get it right. 5 years, hold on, be quiet, I spoke over him.
TAEM, team, there's no I in team,
You
is
got it
it?
wrong, you got it
I
wrong.
forgot those clips on
You know them books
So-
downstairs, them Fuzzbuzz books, have you still got?
Right, anyway, the point is,
Fuzzbuzz, wasn't it?
the
It
point
was
is,
Fuzzbuzz, wasn't
listen, hey, concentrate. Listen, there's no I in
saying
team,
we were laughing at you, sorry.
as we've said loads of times before. But what more can we say about London? They just go for the full 80 minutes. He gets the response from his players, and
How good is Luke Yates?
you know what people say to me about individuals at London. I don't think you can pinpoint individuals because, as individuals, they know what they're doing to contribute to the team, and as a team collectively, they all work as a team.
I thought there was a moment in
a-
that game
yeah.
at the end, 7 minutes left, Ben Crooks gets the ball, breaks away, and you think, this is it, you know, you're watching him run away, he had all with him, you think they're going to score.
Yeah.
They got back, and not just one or two of them, they were all back.
Yeah.
Because then Ulker had a couple of tackles on the line, and the London lads were back, and they were like, go on then, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
You see,
and
also-
they got back, and that to me just showed everything about them.
Absolutely. See, also as well, that's not a point of view where it's an individual trying to make himself look good and well. All the team get back from there. That's great communication. But also as well, when you look at it from a Super League point of view, where these guys were on the Championship and they weren't full time and they weren't supposed to be good enough, when you look at that, what happened in that game, 7 minutes near the end, how fit are these guys?
Well,
What
that,
sort
every
of
time
fitness
I
levels
go
have they got
down,
themselves?
and I forget the guy's name, strength and conditioner, but there's a lot of praise, and I think there's an acceptance they're one of the fittest teams in the
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. You know, from there, and not just because confidence and team spirit and that winning formula, it'll give you that bit. It'll give you that bit of oomph. But I'll tell you what, it's not a matter of that bit of oomph. How fit are they? How fit are these guys? And to say, I don't know who the condition is, but I tell you what, he must have done a tremendous job. And I can tell you, because me at times when I was playing and you'd have arguments with condition, what are we doing this for? What are we doing that for? What is that any good for me? You know. These guys, they're accepting what he's telling them, and I'll tell you what, they're benefiting from it. They are benefiting from it. And do you know what? They're a pleasure to watch. They are a credit to Super League. Well done to Danny Ward, well done to the owner David Hughes, well done to all the players, and also to the supporters as well, because you will be totally proud of that side.
Phil, they're in on merit. The one thing we said when they got relegated before, they need to go away and get back in on merit. They got back in on merit last year, and now from London being the team no one wanted in Super League, now I think there'd be a lot of people genuinely disappointed if they went down.
I think there's two things. One from the Hull KR side, to be 18-8 ahead early in the second half, that should have been the platform for them to go on and win the game. That if I was a Rovers fan, I think Tony Smith will change some things around, and he'll do it quite quickly. But that would be a worry if I was Tony, that my team didn't have the resolve at 18-8 and the tactical nous to close that game down, which is to take nothing away from London, who from a position where it looked as though they were clearly gone at 10 points behind and they'd surrendered the initiative, to turn that around, as they've done in so many games this year, is a massive credit to the belief systems they've got. But I think they do that on the back of unsung heroes. So quite rightly you mentioned Luke Yates, who when the stats come in has made 53 tackles, and you look at what he's done this year, and he's heading the tackles in Super League. So clearly he has been, again we talk about the recruitment of now Largo, the person that spotted Luke Yates languishing at Newcastle Knights and brought him over here, that's a brilliant piece of recruitment.
Lots of credit for London in terms of their spirit and class. Andy and Sandy all with the same thing.
But I would say that there are two people that, for me, epitomise London as much as anybody. And yes, you look at Alex Walker, he's got skill to burn, and it's great that he's come through the London system. But the two guys for me who have been there a very long time, but are making a massive contribution, are Elliot Keir. I think every week when they are in the deepest of trouble at 18-8, we'll take the carry that gets them.
His stats must be really good.
And Rhys Williams,
Who
again barely misses a game, knows only one way of playing, is an absolute inspiration to those around him, because when they're in a tight corner and they need that carry that will at least start the momentum. Morgan Smith is developing into the kind of player that we thought he might be as a junior, but he can't do it without the right environment to do that, and maybe he's never been put quite in that environment. But I think if you look at Williams and you look at Keir and maybe you look at Yates, you just go, if I can't play with these guys, I can't play with anyone.
A lot's been made of the fact that they're all leaving, and we can't blame them. They're being offered contracts elsewhere. I said I spoke to David Hughes the other week, and he said, look, I can't guarantee them Super League rugby. Other teams feel that they can, they're going, right? And some of them players might move to a club that can't guarantee them Super League rugby. But you mentioned, I think there's a band of brothers mentality about them now, and I think it's pulling them even closer together. I think they're getting closer and closer. It's like, I'll tell you what, we're going to show everyone here what we can do. I want to ask you about Morgan Smith. I've seen him twice in the last 3 weeks. Young talent, runs at the line, and it's quite clear that his coach and his teammates have said, right, it's your job. You tell us where we're going.
Exactly.
We're going with you. I mean, that, for him to kick on the third, was it the second tackle near the line? But the vision, he thought the pass was there to walk, he couldn't pass it. He thought, I'll just kick it to him instead. It was an unbelievable moment.
And there wasn't even a kick on, really.
No, that's what I mean. It wasn't on. Normally, you'd be going, what the hell are you doing? But he saw it and he played it, and you just think, wow, unbelievable.
Well, from my point, what's wrong with that?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's great.
This is what I'm saying. I'll say to all coaches out there, what's wrong with giving the young kid the responsibility? And this kid is thriving on it. You know, as I said, 18 months ago now, nearly 2 years, what Truman did to Wigan, that's all gone now. That has gone. He's just playing like a robotic number 7, same as what Richard said. That's why Lily's way down the lane, because he's lost 4 years of it. But Morgan Smith, he's been given the responsibility of taking charge, right? And all he's doing, he said, right, when I want the ball, when I want to take charge, you follow what I do. And everybody just says, right, of course we will do. You let's do we're going to pass the ball, let's do we're going to kick it. You know, and sometimes, the thing about it is, he won't know what he's going to at times. But what he will say to his players is just react. Whatever I come up with, just react. If it's an half break, if it's a kick over from there. But he's got the confidence of the coach. The coach is giving that freedom to play, and you're seeing the best out of a young halfback. And that is down to Danny Ward by giving him that responsibility, and also to the players around him, believing that he can do that, and they're responding to it. Great to see.
Do you also think that to do that, he's had to have had adversity? It's not that he's in the last chance saloon, but he was pretty close to it when he went to London. You know, he'd come through a system whereby he was told as a junior he was one of the absolute outstanding talents. A club came in and made him a big offer, but never really played him. He then goes down to London, which would be a step down in terms of where the respective teams were in the pecking order. But because
similar to what Luke Gale did.
Yeah, no,
you know?
and is that the difference with the Trumans and the Richardsons and the Lillys, is that they came in at the top level? Whereas Morgan Smith, Luke Gale had to go through a process of perhaps not being wanted to find their best form.
Well, my question, or my answer to that, Phil, is quite simple. Why would they want me done at 19 and 20 years of age? Because the way they play, the way Luke Gale plays, has been playing now since he was 25, or when he went to London, what have you. He wanted to play like at Leeds. So why was he stopped? Morgan Smith wants to play like he's doing at London, at Warrington. So why was he stopped? So that's not Morgan Smith's problem. That wasn't Luke Gale's problem. It wasn't Jordan Lilly's problem back in 2015 when I spotted him. It's not Jake Truman's problem when I saw him 18 months ago. It's the coach's problem.
Do you think Morgan Smith is relishing what he's doing at the moment more because it's almost like he's got a point to prove?
Not really. No, I don't think it's a point to prove. What Morgan Smith's doing is, you know, this is playing what I am. It's not my fault I wanted to do. Let me play. I wanted to play.
Yeah. Martin says it's only great when it works. If he hadn't scored, everyone would have been, why the hell are you doing that so early in the set? Yeah, that's all sport.
What's that with a kick?
Yeah.
No, I was like, gee, what's he doing? But he saw it was on and he did it. And he had the skill to carry it out. If he'd hoofed it into the stand, everyone would have gone, why are you
exactly.
doing?
Do the Richie Miner. You know what I mean? Hoof it in the stand. You know what I'm saying? Because it's crap at doing it. But anyway, Mark, Richie and Phil, you know my fault. So let's see if we do it once. You don't come off. Do it again. Don't come off. Do it again, because I tell you, if you don't come off the third time, it'll certainly come off the fourth time. And that fourth time will be the match winner. Will be the match winner.
I was talking to someone the other day at work, when I was saying work, I mean my proper job where I get paid, about the coverage of the Women's World Cup and how some commentators and pundits are reticent to criticise any players on the pitch because everything's perfect and everyone's brilliant. And we were talking about the fact that I did a Wakefield versus Saints Women's Super League game a couple of weeks ago, where you would be fair in saying that on my commentary I was giving plenty of excuses for Wakefield. But in terms of the fact that many of their players are young and learning what they're doing, I think you can give more excuses to young players who do try things, because at least they are trying to do something that people aren't otherwise doing. We criticise the old players more because they should know what they're doing and they don't do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I think I just thought, look,
You've
I've seen him the
obviously
last
played
two of the last 3 weeks, and he's played a key part. He kicked the winning drop goal, and he created a try that got him back in the game. Pleased as well for Danny Addy. A lot of people who has played against the team he's going to be at next year. our league player played outstanding and he scored the try, fingertip try.
Oh, Jordan Abdul.
Jordan Abdul, sorry, who did I say? Little?
Danny Abbott.
Danny Addis, sorry, got
That's
confused. Yeah, pleased for him. I
Oh,
thought
it was great. No,
Thought
it was great. And there seems to be a really good partnership between the two of them because they've got complementary skills.
Yeah,
And I think moving James Cunningham to hooker helps as well.
yeah. Well, he's a hooker, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's a hooker.
even though
That's
he's got
his-
7 on his
Yeah,
back,
but
he
he's
is
a hooker. That's
But they
his
tried him at half back, and
Yeah.
understandably, Pelissier's out at the moment,
Yeah.
so you
got
know.
broken arm, but back in about a month.
When he comes back again, it gives them a different dimension. But the whole of it, why are they the band of brothers that they are? Because a lot of those people were given an opportunity late in their career to flourish at the top level, and if that's the motivation for them doing it, the only thing perhaps this group want to do before they go their separate ways is be the guys that kept London in Super League. They were never going to win the cup. They were never going to win, make the playoffs. But because they were completely written off, they won't win a game. Some people say, if they stay up, they can go to their respective clubs in the knowledge that they've achieved something really, really special.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon 18 points would be enough for me, and I reckon.
I think 18's enough.
I think 18 would be enough, and I reckon London. There's 3 more wins in London, so they're going to be safe. They're going to get 20 points.
So in terms of if 18 is the number, is relegation now down to 5 teams? Do you think that now Wigan and Cass are safe because they're already on 18?
Well, I'm boiling it down to 3 teams for the relegation: OKR, Leeds, and Huddersfield. I'm not putting Broncos in there. I think there's 3 more wins in London.
What happens though?
No,
What happens on?
You don't
on
think there's 3
Friday?
more wins in London?
No, I do.
What happens on Friday though?
Yeah, I think that you can't say they're not in it. They are firmly in it. You know, they might not win another game.
Oh.
London, they're firmly in the mix. They are. They've got to be. They're 2 points off the bottom. If OKR were to win,
OKR won't be old.
Leeds. All right. Well, let's have a
No,
look
what
at it from the other side. then.
what I'm
OKR?
saying is London. I reckon London have got 3 more wins. I don't think Leeds, OKR.
You can't tell me Leeds won't beat Catalan this week. I think us 4 could beat Catalan the way they're playing at the minute.
Hey, listen,
What about Wakefield?
you look at that Catalan side.
In fact, if Matty Smith plays, we'd have a quicker halfback if you played.
Well, do you know, I might make myself.
I might have a quicker halfback if Rich came.
I think I might make myself available for Richie Yeager
So
to
fast,
play against Matty Smith. You know, I think I might do.
Come on, let's move on. Look, so Leeds, I think they're going to get a win. It's so many twists and turns. They're going to beat someone. Okay, I might beat all this week. We don't know.
Well, we can't get it right.
We don't know.
The
They got
good
6
thing
out of
is,
6 this week.
Yeah, so did I actually.
most weeks we can't get it right.
Yeah.
That's what you went for OKR.
Which is what we want.
But
there is
Sure.
a third,
Yeah,
of
Rich did me things.
I got 6 out of 6 this week.
All right, calm down.
third of the season
I'll get you a
still to go.
cake.
Top of the league.
Would you include Wakefield?
Well,
If we lose on Friday-
Wakefield have got a chance this week. I think that is the biggest. Forget you Warrington Saints 2v1, irrelevant. They'll meet again in the playoffs. So what happens this week has no relevance on the rest of the season. Wigan, Salford, both gunning for the top 5, massive game, biggest games at Bellevue, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because the loser there
Is
is
in.
in deep doo
I
doo.
tell you what, I was listening to Simon Wolford yesterday in an interview, and I tell you what, he sounds absolutely cheesed off with his players.
He's something like that for a while though, hasn't he?
Absolutely, yeah, but yes, maybe for a while. But you could see it, you could sense it in from a point of view where he wasn't really angry with it, but you could sense it with the words what he was saying about these players. I don't know what to make of these players. I don't know what to do with these players, and you could sense he's an absolute angry man because he's not getting a response from his players.
Right, but can I say what I've said for the last 3 years about Huddersfield, right? You look, they've got youngsters coming through now, some very talented youngsters.
True.
Their recruitment has been terrible. I think if you look at that Super League table, I think I might have said it to you, I put it on Twitter the other day, you look at that table and I think that is a pretty good, with 1 or 2 exceptions, is a pretty fair reflection on recruitment over the last, not this year, last couple of years. And Huddersfield's recruitment for me has been terrible. It's been absolutely awful. And I think it's all right getting rid of Rick Stone, because isn't it funny how both coaches have come in, Stone and Wolford have had a massive impact short term, and yet the year after the team's faded away again. And what happens, we say it all, teams revert to their mean, they revert to what they are.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what's happened, and that's not the coach's fault.
Yeah.
That's the fault of the squad of players isn't good enough. Now the guy who put the squad of players together is not Rick Stone, it's not Simon Wolford, it's Richard Hewlett. He signs Kent's checks, or he takes the checks to Kent to sign them.
Yeah.
He's the person. people should be looking at. So he's the person, in my opinion, that is to blame for Huddersfield where they are at the minute.
Yeah, but also as well, I think we all know that the CEO there at Huddersfield, and I think maybe now whoever the CEO or the recruitment guy at Ulkiston Rovers, they're all pretty friendly with somebody who has quite a few players and wants them to go there. Isn't that a big problem?
Well, I would agree. I would agree.
But what you just said there, Mark, as well, I was thinking exactly the same. When you came in last week, Sam, you got a real tune out of the players. What do they get? 7-8 on the bounce, this sort of thing. But exactly right what you just said in summing it all
Rick
up.
Stone did it the first year.
Them players have gone back. No, them players, have gone back to exactly what they are. Average players. Average players.
Or average performance. And
average
the
players. They can't play consistent, smart rugby league week in and week out.
No, they've got, and the good. And Wolford said it the other week. It's not the kids that are letting the team down. It's the experienced players.
The quality.
And my
players.
worry for them is when they lost at Cass. I think we were there that night.
Oh yeah,
A game they should never have lost.
Absolutely.
And people say, they'll be all right. Look how well they played. No, they played that well and didn't win. What happens when they start playing poorly? And they've been battered all right by
the last 2 weeks.
They've been battered.
A real wake up call.
If they win at Wakefield this week, then fair enough. They might well be all right. But I think there's a few cracks being painted over there, and I think they need an overhaul of their squad. And
there is an excuse with Wakefield because they are the ones that are coming out hopefully of an injury crisis.
Huddersfield did have a lot of injuries at the start, in fairness.
But there's a settled team there now. We talk about Lee Gaskell a lot and the impact he can have. But he can't if he hasn't got the players around him that are giving him what he needs to play the way you want him to play.
Well, I've seen him play well this year, and he has got the players around him.
Yeah, but they're not doing it week in, week out.
Well,
they're not giving him the ball where he needs it to make maximum impact.
There's a lot of them in Super League like that. They're not consistent enough. They're not. When I keep going on about,
is he consistent enough?
Oh, I think he is if the players around him giving that consistency in their performance, because all Gaskell needs, and I harp on about it every week, don't about judging yourself points out of 10. So if Gaskell, he will be looking at the 8s and 9s if you want to get up to the level. But if Gaskell, the players around him, if they can get themselves up to the 7s, he can get the 8s and 9s because he's getting the right 7s when he wants it. But if he's just getting slow ball, exactly like the outside backs are doing at Catalans, the outside backs are doing at Leeds and other clubs as well, then I'm afraid to say they're not going to produce the best. But Gaskell's a little bit like with Blake Austin at Warrington. If Gaskell gets injured, Huddersfield are knackered. And it's exactly the same as Warrington from what view by week.
I worry about them.
They are knackered. If Gaskell goes, see you later.
Hello, 7 minutes in the past to Captain Jibbers, who paused the programme and forgot. It says Michael Eccles is the strength and conditioning guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Also,
didn't they do a lot of work with the Army in pre-season as well, which I think has really paid off for them?
I don't know. But they are fit. There's no getting away from it.
History will be made on July 12th because Sky are showing Leeds versus Hulkingston Rovers.
And not Wigan and Saints.
And not Wigan and Saints for the first time in the league ever.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
94 in a row, according to Belco.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Last time they weren't on telly was January 1995 in the Regal Trophy, which had been on the BBC.
Yeah. So. And for all them people going, but we should be concentrating on the top of the table. No. The sad fact is, if we can get in the playoffs, they might well play again this season. So there's no wow factor there. Got to be looking at the bottom. And as we keep saying, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Well, the weakest link at the bottom, pretty good this year. So let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy the battle. It's what we watch sport for, isn't it? We want to see the drama. We want to see Leeds. Sorry, I didn't say that.
It's jeopardy, isn't it? That's why we go back in the first place.
This is what we all want. Now it's here. Let's watch it. It's not having the £1 million game on and go, oh no, we'll watch fifth take on.
It's almost as competitive as the Championship. We've got things to aspire to.
It's like what you say though, that what is the interest in St Helens and Warrington in terms of a form line for the end of the season? It's great that they play this week. It's great that Wolf is flown the plane over and thrown down the gauntlet and all that. But because the teams play each other so many times, some of the matches become meaningless. The Challenge Cup semi-finals we've been looking forward to for too long because we needed them 3 weeks after the last round.
Should be around every month. I completely agree with that. So
I get that Hull KR Leeds will be the biggest game that week, and it might even determine which team gets relegated. So of course you'd feature.
Last time I played through over a ground, I seem to remember, we have to go back to 2006, 5.
Never fear.
It's only Kia. What happened there, Casman?
All right, let it go.
All right. So I wrote a comment in their programme the season after. Good news, podcast-wise.
We're big in. We're big in.
Are you ready for this one?
I know we were big in Switzerland.
Well, we're not big in Switzerland this week. We've been big
Big
on
must have been
but,
old.
but we are in the charts in Mexico.
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 Oh, hey.
I don't know. Is the
Well,
team
we're
in
on
Mexico?
about going on the road, aren't we?
Oh, we should wear sombreros.
Set up a team in Mexico. No, I think that's what other people would do on other TV programs just there, you know.
Oh.
A bit believe in stereotypes.
Right.
Yes.
Go on, are you any more?
No, just
before we move on?
have we spoken about how Paul London's attendances are yet, asked Sebastian?
No, what
Why?
does it matter?
Why?
What does it matter?
What do you want us to say?
Are we going to
go
speak
for
about
it.
how poor Leeds away following was at St Helens? Are we going to speak about things like that?
I thought-
Are we going to speak about how good Toronto's attendance
But I
was?
thought
Yeah,
people
well.
didn't care about attendances. I thought it was all about what happened on the pitch until it happens that there are better teams in the Championship, or bigger clubs in the Championship who should be in Super League because we need to bring back licensing, but they didn't want that.
Yeah.
What do people want?
We're not bagging it. I'm not having it. Go down, experience it for yourself. It's a great day out. I'll tell you what, we've got a lot of fans there. There
Have
are
we?
a lot of drunken fans, I hasten to add.
That's
as
probably
well.
why
There
they're
were a few
fans,
lads
to be
that were
fair.
getting. They wanted to know what Scoy had made about Leeds, and Scoy sent me
Oh, it's
an
time.
expletive-laden message after the game on Thursday that said Leeds are in trouble, or words to that effect. I'm sure you can imagine. And they're all going, "Oh, what's Scoy going to? Are you going to get stuck into Leeds?" What Scoy said. I went, "Well, this is what Scoy said." They burst out laughing. That defeat,
Being honest.
London's victory over Hull Care, put Hull Care bottom.
Yeah.
It also let them above Leeds, and we saw Leeds on Friday.
I was just saying we haven't really talked about Hull KR.
Well, go on then. All right, go on
No,
then.
I'm just saying, do you think that
I think
that,
they'll be
that
all right.
was a real setback for Tony Smith, or could you see enough in the way that they played that it's going to take a little bit of time, but he's going to get it right?
That's not even
Well,
Marcel.
since he's come in, they lost to Wigan by 1.
Mhm.
They beat Warrington. They lost to London by 2. They're not far away. I think they've got wins in them. And we're going to talk about transfers later. If they get past Sal, I'm confident they'll stay up because they are missing a number 9, a really good running number 9. I think you put one in their team, I think they'll be fine. I do think they'll be fine, and that's why when Scully says, "Oh, you might need this, or you might need that," there's too many games, there's too many all playing each other. It could go crazy at the bottom of the table. Some London might not win another game. We don't know. We can't tell what's going to happen.
No.
But my gut feeling is watching Hull KR the other night wasn't a team. Certainly haven't given up. Not at all. I think they'll be all right.
Do you think Drinkwater is one that you would put in the Matthew Smith, Richie Myler school that didn't do enough when the team were on top of the head to drive his team around?
Without doubt. Yeah, of course so. Yeah.
Sebastian says, how does it not matter? This is the attendances. You all talk about the growth of the game, crazy.
All right,
What was
Sebastian.
that?
All right, Sebastian. I'll answer that. I was down at London 3 weeks ago when they beat St Helens. 150 kids playing rugby league on the pitch at the side of it. 3,000 crowd there. Great attendance. Fair play. St Helens took a lot of them. Not going to say they didn't. Great atmosphere. I dare say those St Helens fans that went will go next year because they had a great day out, even though their team lost. Great day out. Good, great social. It's one of the most friendly grounds you'll ever go to. It's a great ground. Right, they're in Super League. If they can stay in, I think they have finally, dare I say it, got a base, a really good base that is conducive. They've built that temporary stand. I dare say if they're staying again, there might be some more investment that goes into it. So it's all right saying it doesn't matter. I get what you're saying, it don't look great, but I just think if you're judging London on that, and they're in on merit, you can't deny. They're not there because someone's bailed them out. They're there on merit. And you've got to let them thrive.
I think there's a bigger question that is how strategically important are London for the sport?
No, we know they are.
Because
We know
if they are,
Yeah.
then you have to find a way of keeping them in Super League because they're coming from a crowd base that's been in the Championship
Well, you
for
hope
5
that they're
years.
staying and they're
Yeah.
staying. That's it, innit? That's it, you know.
How many teams coming up outside of Toronto have got fan bases that the equivalent if they hadn't been in Super League for 5 years?
Well, Bradford would be a main one, wouldn't
Well, and possibly Leigh.
it?
But not guaranteed if they haven't been in the top flight for that long.
Yeah. So no, I'm not. No, I'll look a bit more past it than that. And I think the game in London.
We need to
Is a
decide what
stronghold.
we want. There isn't an academy down there. London have their own academy. And where's the centre of excellence that keeps young kids when they get? We talk a lot about what happens when they get to 16, 17, 18. 150 kids that you saw on the pitch, go back in 10 years' time, how many of them are still playing rugby league? They'll all be playing rugby union. Because we as a sport don't do enough to keep them and find the environment in which they can flourish and thrive.
I think the Brixton ladies team had to fall, didn't it?
Because they can't find a play. So, you know, we talk about women's rugby league and we're massive fans of it on this programme. Where's the Southern team?
Yeah.
As KPW says, there's work to be done in London, but there's work to be done everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got no development officers anymore. So what do people expect?
Right, time for Leeds. 12-0 down inside 3 minutes, Rich. I thought your hands were going to set on fire, you were rubbing them together that much. That they were going to get thumped, and they didn't, did they really?
Well, you see, how's the thing, right? Was I being harsh in my reports on the game when I said that in the second half, Saints pretty much put the cue on the rack and thought, we've won this game? Because I've heard people say Leeds played really well and stuff and defended well and stuff, but I thought that Saints just gave up. I thought they knew they'd won, they knew they'd got a big game this week, they didn't have to try anymore.
I agree. What did you two make?
I don't think they gave up. I think they overplayed, which is one of the...
Yeah, but there wasn't the intensity there, was there? The game was over.
Yeah, the game was over in 3 minutes.
We'll see what numbers they got on the report.
And I think the issue for Leeds was just made far too many individual errors, and 2 of them came in the first 3 minutes, and at 12-0 you knew they weren't going to win. But they're not going to go from being one of the poorest teams in the division over the first 19 games to suddenly being one of the best. They've got to put in small building blocks, and the second half was another very small building block that Richard Ayotte can work on this week.
Hold on, the building block, they're that small, they're like Bellevue, you can't see them.
There will be a lot of teams that go to St Helens and get beaten by a lot worse. I thought the resolve that they showed in the second half was something you can build on.
Resolve when it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's easy to look good when you're getting battered.
I think it's easy to
look
get,
good when it's 0-0.
No, I think it's easy to get beaten by 100 points if you don't get that resolve right, and they didn't.
This is Leeds Rhinos, Phil.
But it's
Leeds
where
Rhinos.
But
This
it's
is not
not
West
Leeds,
Wales Raiders.
It's not Leeds Rhinos of 5 years
play.
ago. It's Leeds Rhinos of where they are now.
Gary?
Well, quite simple, isn't it? You know, if you summed it all up, if St Helens wanted to get 60, they would have done. They should have had 40 in the first
Is that,
half.
and I've said this on the show before, is that the problem with St Helens, that they do get a little bit loose when they're in front, and I just think in a big game that'll undo them. You've got to take those chances.
Well, I mentioned it. I always mention it quite a few times. They turn the tap on and then turn it off. But what they did on Friday, they turned it on and then turned it off for far too long. You know, because they didn't have to 4 minutes. The game was won, wasn't it, from there? And the new leagues weren't going to come back. So it was all about St Helens' attitude, and you know, the scoreline from a point of view didn't reflect the game. Maybe not, but there were just 2 soft tries from Leeds, and again, that's a big worry for Leeds. You know, because when it is boys there, when the pressure is on. You know, there's still that softness in the Leeds defence from there, and they were 2 very, very soft ball tries, weren't they? Lungner, Scarsbrook and Bentley at the end from there. But
I think the one that really hurt them, after the 3 minutes, they didn't look like they were going to win, but that one right on half time, absolutely brilliant finish.
Nakinson.
In a weekend where we've seen magnificent tries, and again, I'm not criticising Super League, but where is the compilation of brilliant tries of the weekend?
They have, to be fair, I think they've stepped up the game this week.
Yeah,
but they have,
what we could have had on Sunday night was, if you like sport, this is what happened this weekend. And you'd start with, you know, London. And
when I lived in New Zealand, they used to have like the best 5 players of the week from the NBA, because the NBA is always on the television in New Zealand. And you think, I wonder why we don't have that on the Sky Sports News, you know, top 5 players from the Super League. And like you said, you put that one in, you put the Nalago one in, you put the Griffin one in, and I dare say there will be loads more from every game, no matter what.
It was just an exceptional weekend this weekend.
So why?
If you're going to sell it to young kids, you know, what do you want to watch this week? Well, here's a sport that can produce that on any given weekend. Yeah. That try was magnificently crafted and taken, although clearly there was too much space left on the outside. But how Makinson got in the corner, I have absolutely no idea. I think that's where Leeds were done. It was the last play of the half. And at 18-6 and maybe scoring the first try after half time as they did, they've got more of a chance to make an impact. That might have brought more of the beast out of St Helens, but I think that try on half time was the defining moment.
I think as well now, I know you're going to talk about in the second part of it, Mark, about the transfer and who's going to be coming and maybe leaving Leeds from there. But I think I said it when Ferno was in charge, wasn't it? You know, about smelling this coffee. Leeds have smelt the coffee now. Leeds are drinking the coffee because they know they're in the mire. They know they are in the mire. They are in a relegation.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
I read the press release today about the Great Britain coaches, and I'm getting quotes off Kevin Sinfield, Rugby League, RFL, whatever he is,
Director of Rugby.
If I'm Gary Etherington or if I'm Paul Caddick, I'm going, what the hell's he doing? We're in the absolute biggest fight we've had for 20 years, and the guy who's supposed to be running the show is not even 100% here. I'm not saying he doesn't work hard, I'm not saying he doesn't take up a lot of his time. Should he not be standing back from that and concentrating on his job?
What's he said with the Great Britain?
Well, he's what I mean. He's employed by the RFL. So should he not be 100% Leeds Rhinos and saying, I need to spend all my time on this?
Definitely.
As I said to Phil, I want him to go to bed in his Leeds Rhinos pyjamas with his Ronnie the Rhino teddy bear and waking up in the night thinking about Leeds. He should be thinking about Leeds all the time. Not thinking about England and what's happening with Wayne Bennett and who's going to be the coach. What's that got to do with him?
I agree.
Was he at all the interviews? Why is he not signing some... Why is he not... Leeds at the minute, right, and I'm going to say this now, right, they're a car crash at the minute, and everyone else in Super League, if they now want to, can squeeze Leeds where it hurts, right? Let's be fair, they're going to sign Robert Louis. We understand that is going to happen, right? But they can't sign Robert Louis because they need to get an overseas player out. So if you've got any marbles and you want one of their overseas players, you're just going to sit there and let them sweat, let them drown in their own sweat. Because until they've cocked this up big time, right? How they've gone about this it's embarrassing in what they're doing. In the terms that if you're Hull KR, we understand Matt Parcell could be going to Hull KR. Hull KR want Matt Parcell. If you're Neil Hudgley, you're going, we'll take him, yeah. Oh well, it's this. Well, we're not paying that. What are they going to do? There's going to come a point where Leeds are in effect going to have to pay Matt Parcell or whoever it is to go to Hull KR to get him out of the door, and they're just hemorrhaging money.
That is what's
Yeah, but that is farcical. That is Why is it taken until now for them to go? As he said, why is it taken till they go? Oh, we need an half back. We could have told you that at the start of the season. What the hell is happening at Leeds?
But Mark,
seriously.
But Mark, as I said 6 or 7 weeks ago, when Ferner was in charge, and I says nobody's smelling the coffee at Leeds.
That's what I mean.
Why
now?
What is that?
It's not coffee. It's vodka now. They're supping. I'm telling you.
Whatever they should have been smelling, but now they're drinking it. They're drinking it because they're like. This is going to happen. This is a massive possibility, whether we like it or not. I don't like it. Philip doesn't like it because we are Leeds Rhinos men. We are Leeds Rugby League men. And let me tell you, we was there on Friday night, the lot of us, right? And me, who's played 253 times for Leeds, 147 tries.
This show has played 253 times.
Yeah, and being the captain of Leeds 3 times, sacked 3 times, reappointed 3 times. You know what I mean? So, and what I'm seeing, it's hurting. It's hurting me, the dross, what I'm seeing. Because what I'm seeing, Matt, right, and I speak to a hell of a lot of ex-players, and ex-players who have contacted me over the weekend by message. Do you know what the big nucleus of what the messages are? It's quite simple. The players who are playing for Leeds at this moment in time, 3/4 of them wouldn't make the 18 back in our day. So that just tells you how far we are behind with the quality of players that should be putting that blue and amber jersey on. That's how hurtful it is. And I know you two don't care less. Look at you, look at the smirk of the emotion. But Mark, I agree with you.
53 Leeds appearances. I've made a couple as well. I've made a couple as well.
I like Leeds, I've said this before. The secret of comedy, they always tell you, is timing. Tweet 3 minutes ago from @Leeds Rhinos. Have you shopped in the Leeds Rhinos mid-season sale yet? If not, hurry! There's up to 50% off.
There are
on
12
selected
players
lines,
that
which
you
won't
can
last
come and buy.
forever.
I am going to retweet.
Oh no, you'll get us in trouble now. Orders over £50 to live at absolutely.
Do it on the account. Do it on the Forty20 account.
Yeah.
Does this include Matt Parcell? Just put that.
Hey, but also as well, isn't Sean Lunt coming to Leeds in place of Parcell?
Yes.
Well, Parcell's a better player than Lunt, so what the hell's going on?
Well, clearly they've identified a weakness in Parcell's game,
and also they need an overseas quota if they want to get Robert Louis, who they clearly have identified as being of more value to them at the moment.
Have you got accreditation?
Why did they smell the
I've
service?
sent an email, but send it anyway.
Well, maybe again under a salary cap sport, they're not. You know, when Leeds were last in this position, they went out and signed Lee Crooks and himself because they could. So if this hadn't been a salary cap sport, maybe they would have gone and made a bid for a Robert Louis earlier. But You can't. It's not quite as easy as it used to be.
What we're going to do with Lola here, we signed him as a number 6. Lola here, when he came over, said, yes, I'm a number 6. I'm the man who can get Leeds down the park. I know exactly what I can do. What we're going to do with him.
Well, it's been to Tonga.
Has he come back?
I don't think he's due back today, but you would think he'd be in the mix.
Where? Because Walker's at full back. Where's he going to play?
Might play on the wing because Luke Briscoe got 3 in the paper. John Davidson there. 3.
Can I-
3 out.
Can I ask a question? I think we asked it last week, we might not have done.
What does Ashton Golden have to do to get a spot?
Jack Walker looked injured to me last week. I think Jack Walker is an outstanding player. He's a brilliant player. This is not criticism. I thought he looked like he had a knock. I think they're clearly gambling on his fitness a little bit.
Yeah.
What is Ashton Golden? You can't tell me Ashton Golden is not better than Luke Briscoe.
And he was
Why is he not
warming
getting
up
in?
with the team.
Why is he not
He was
getting in?
I don't
Why is
know.
he not getting in? Is
The
this
only-
another Sinfield
The
mess
only
up
person
or-
that can answer that is the
Simple.
people behind the scenes.
Simple, his face doesn't fit, does it?
But I don't. What does that mean? What is it that he does? We can only
Seemed to
judge
fit
him
when he
on-
got a 5-year
Well,
contract.
this is the thing. I said this after the game on Friday. They signed him on a 5-year contract or whatever it was, and then a couple of weeks later they signed Jack Walker on a long-term contract. But they
I
must
think
have
it might
not.
have been the other way around, which makes it even
Big-
more
well,
bizarre.
well, there you go. They
But also as well, why have they put somebody in the comfort zone? Why have they given him a 5-year
The
deal?
problem that Leeds have got, more than their recruitment, is their retention. They have tied themselves to long and expensive contracts with some players that they are now
So
trying
are
to...
you finally admitting, Phil, after 2 years of me battering you, that their recruitment
No,
has been
I just, it's not recruitment, it's retention.
Well, it's the same thing.
No, it isn't.
It's the same thing.
It isn't.
It
the,
is.
The players they've gone out and signed...
So you can't sign any players if you've kept ones that you can't get rid
I
of.
think the issue they've got at the moment, and why they haven't been able to smell the coffee earlier, is they are stuck with players on contracts in an era of a salary cap sport that, when you look back, was a poor decision to sign them on the length of contract that they did and for the amount of money that they
Phil, they've not been able to smell the coffee before. Hold on. Gary Everton, Kevin Sinfield, David Furner, James Laws, Chev Walker, Rob Burrow, Richie Agar. I haven't smelt the coffee before.
No, I didn't say.
It's almost like Eddie Jones's backroom.
I don't think you can blame the coaching staff. They can only work with the resources that they've got. I think they've gone through an era where they worked the salary cap magnificently, partly because they had a lot of young players who were coming through, which gives you a lot of wriggle room to upgrade their contracts. And we'll no doubt talk about other clubs that are now in a similar position where they have to upgrade people, which limits what you can do in the market. But I think the problem that they've had over the last 3 or 4 years is that there are some players who they are now looking to move on to create the space for either young kids to come in or to sign the players that they need, who are on long retention. Has been the contracts have been too long and the amount they're being paid is too much.
In a nutshell, Phil, what they've realised is simple. They're not good enough for that jersey.
Or they've been there
Simple.
long enough that they need to move them on, and you can't because they've got a contract that is of a value that other clubs won't take on,
Right.
and that perhaps they've offered them too long a length of contract.
Right. Why did we sign Myler and not keep Danny Maguire? If you would have asked any
I think
Leeds,
we've
hold on. If you would have asked any Leeds fan, right? Danny wanted another 12 months, right?
No, I wanted 2 years.
Well-
They only offered him 12 months.
Well, 2 years, right? Why did they not keep Maguire and sign Myler?
in that 2017 season,
16 to start with.
16 and 2017, Danny Maguire's best game was his last game, wasn't it? And before that, he wasn't the Danny Maguire.
Because they were looking to change the squad.
Sandy's asked you a question. Gary, in your opinion, what would you do as an action plan for Leeds if you were given the chance to help me? You are Kevin Sinfield. You are Sir Kevin Sinfield.
But
you
you
are.
are
You've got the
hamstrung
tracksuit. You're
by
sat next
the
to Richard Agar
contracts that are
sometimes all the
already
time.
in place.
What would you do?
Well, what Gary would do is he'd be planning what he's going to do in 6 weeks when he gets sacked like he did at Barrow.
Yeah.
Down the town all the time.
Actually, it was 5 actually. And Huddersfield, there's only 11 games, so I need 13 games at least. Like when I got Huddersfield, when I got the bullet after two games from there. Hey, listen, the fact of the matter is, it's all been explained from now. We've got players there who aren't good enough. Players on contracts going to have to shift out to bring in quality, but it's simple. They ain't got the quality and good enough to be wearing that jersey to get them where they want to get, and they're in the relegation fight. They
have
relegation
got
fight.
right. I'm gonna. This is where now I take my
You're gonna bite your tongue.
anti-Leeds Rhinos cap off and put on the fact that they couldn't be playing Catalan at a better time. They couldn't be playing Cast the week after at a better time. And the chances are, I think, if they do dig up 2 positive results from that, they'll beat Hull KR the week after. I think Leeds will know more about them in the next. I say on Sunday. If they win on Sunday, I think they're going to be
I
right.
think there's one other factor on Sunday as well. That 7 of their last 10 games are at home.
Yeah, but if you're losing,
but that's what. But if they win on Sunday,
yeah,
the other 6 games become. The fans are getting behind. If you lose on Sunday, you don't want those other 6 games.
yeah, that's a fair.
Do you know what, fella? Do you know what, fella? I'm sick of hearing this. That we've got 7 home games where we're going to perform. Hold on.
No, I didn't say we're going to perform.
Hold on, because you know what? The Leeds fans, they'll be putting pressure on these players.
Yeah.
So my question is quite simple to these: can they handle the pressure? What they are under now?
If they
right?
can't, they won't deserve to be in that division.
It's Man of Steel time.
Oh, excellent. Good. I want to see which Leeds players.
I've not got the email. I've done it on the Super League website. Who put it in a stupidly formatted way, but there you go. It means I have to remember which teams players play for. But first of all, it was London versus Hull KR. Abdul Smith Dixon, the 3-2 one there.
Okay.
Salford versus Castleford. And it's 2 Leeds players at the top, Hastings and Louis, with Inu in third. Wigan, it was their captain and referee Sean O'Loughlin who got the 3, Zach Hardacre and John Williams against Huddersfield. The people like it, they like having a go with it. Hull versus Catalans, or Catalans versus Hull. Josh Griffin,
Yeah.
Jake Connor.
Yeah.
Right, now bear in mind, Hull won
50-10.
50-10, right? Nolongo's got one of the best tries we've seen all season.
Albert Kelly had one of these.
Yeah, he was good. 1 point, Samasoni Langi. Whoever picked that should be fired.
Somebody'd been on the buffet.
You can't have that kind of.
It wasn't
Well, I
me.
didn't see the
Some-
game,
some-
but even that's amazing.
I know, but still. I mean, I've turned over at half time to watch Toronto impressed by the beach.
We got 7.
Langi
We got
got
7.
Yeah, but it's only Matty Smith.
Surely 3 Hull players got more than 7.
Right, gentlemen, can I?
Hang on, let's
Are
wait.
you good for the Man of Steel?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
good for them all, sorry.
Wakefield's Joe Westman got 8. Tommy Makinson, Johnny Lomax, Lachlan Coots.
How good was Johnny Lomax in the first half?
And Darryl Clark, Josh Charlie and Blake Austin for Warrington versus Wakefield.
Okay.
There you go.
You got a bit of stick last week, Legend, for not picking
Yeah. At least I
a
admitted
certain
it.
player
Oh,
the week before.
What?
Move on. Move on.
you ain't got routine to do
There's
it.
like letters in the paper today with new ways of picking the Man of Steel. We already moaned about the last one. Now we've got a new one and we're moaning about this already.
Yeah.
Next time I do a whole lot, he'll get 3 points.
Whether he's playing.
He's not playing, but he got 3 anyway. And he got 2.
Did you forget he was playing?
Anyway, look, let's move on. Let's move on.
So that was,
Let's not let Gary look any more in it than he does.
So
Leeds, come on.
Yeah, exactly. So you reckon that Leeds are going to turn the Catalans over, right? I'm just going to
Yeah.
a bit
Are we
of
going to curry on it?
right. I'm just, absolutely. And do you know what? I'll give you Leeds in 6. I'll give you Leeds in 6 stars.
Monday night, next Monday, no
well,
excuses.
and it's my birthday, so
Oh, is it? Oh, you can pay it.
Yeah.
Bring cake.
It's my birthday.
Right.
It's my birthday next week. So
I've got Leeds plus 6.
If anybody wants to, well, I'll tell you what, there's a can we place here then, right? That's where we are next
expensive,
week.
Phil said. Are you sure? Phil said it was quite expensive.
So you're in North Leeds.
Right, that's where we are next Monday, right? You're getting Leeds at 6 star.
Your party's all round if
Let's,
Catalan.
right then, let's.
It's a shame that everybody knows where we are. They'll all be queuing outside.
So
Good.
the question I'm asking here now, then, right then, when you look at the 2 sides from Leeds,
Yeah.
which Leeds players would you swap, or which Catalans players would you swap to put in the Leeds team? Sam Tompkins at fullback, would you swap him?
No.
I'd rather
Jack
Walker.
Walker.
Okay, that's what I'm saying then, right? Yaha, winger,
No, you'd have him.
right? David Mead centre, Williams centre,
Hold on,
and
hold
Turner.
on. I just a word for Harry Newman. I thought he became a man on Friday because they tried to bully him and he wasn't having it. And you know what? I thought, good on you, boy. Good on you.
I tell you what I
Yeah.
will say is, with Newman and Buchanan coming through, we've got some quality centres coming through. Don't worry about that, yeah? So I'm asking you the question here because I think Catalans will paddle Leeds on the weekend. Lewis Turney, well, he's crap.
Well,
anyway.
in that case, I can't
Yeah,
lose, can I?
but
Right,
Luke,
so-
Luke Briscoe won't be playing this week.
So the big Langy at 6, I'd have Langy at 6, but then you've got to choose between Matty Smith and Richie Minor at number 7. I'd rather have Phil Capper with his knee bandage on, to be honest with you, wouldn't you?
I would.
And then you look at the forward pack, Busquets, McAlorum, Samoa,
but
Julian
how-
Garcia, and
but
Castille. How many Leeds players would get into
But
that
what
Catalan
is the
side?
problem with that Catalan team? How can that team that you've just read out get beaten by 50?
I agree, Phil.
Again,
I agree.
again.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I don't think it's about the names. It's about
It's about the attitude.
Yeah.
I agree, but how many Leeds players are good enough to get to that Catalan side who are going to go there, knowing how bad Leeds are, they're knowing how bad they are. Surely McNamara's going to get a response after 4 weeks.
You know, Leeds cost me a fortune the other week when they lost to Wigan, an absolute fortune. And there's every chance they might do again this week. But I can't have Catalan at the minute. I won't have them given. And I think whenever
Mate,
you're
I
in a
agree, but I
relegation
can't have Leeds.
scrap,
I'm
the
trying to-
timing of games is so important.
I agree.
You know, you need a bit of luck, and they're getting a bit of luck. Is that they might look at it the way Leeds go, well, they've got hammered, they're going to turn up this week. I don't think they will. They should have turned up last week, having been back the week before by London, but they didn't. They got worse.
I agree. I'm not defending the Catalans because the Catalans at this
You know,
moment
if I were
playing like
playing,
under
if I were playing
how-
in Black,
how
I'd have
are they
them on the overnight ferry. I'd make them get on the bus to Belgium. I'd make them get on the ferry to Hull.
Yeah.
And I'd make them get on the bus to Leeds because they've been a disgrace. They get the
I'd
private jet everywhere.
I'd make them cycle on 2 tandems, a 13-seater one and a 12-seater one. That's what I'd make.
how are they going
I
to
would.
turn it around? Bearing in mind they were so abject.
Phil, if I knew, I'd tell you. I try and come.
No, but your
I try-
comments they're going to win.
I try-
What is it that the
Well, I-
ingredient they're going to find
well,
that for the last 3 or 4 weeks they clearly
Well,
haven't
after 4 weeks, surely McNamara doesn't need to be in the dressing room. Them players have to address the situation themselves because it's them players who are causing this, not the coaching staff, not Bernard, not the conditioner, not the tea lady. Nobody except them players themselves. And
Why do you think
surely,
this will be the week that they will?
because Leeds,
Because they
because
wouldn't-
because
wouldn't they have done it
they're
at
playing
home?
Leeds.
But
They're playing Leeds. They're coming to a great stadium. It'll be a great atmosphere. They'll want the response.
Against Hull.
Why shouldn't they? I
We
agree.
said that there were two. They had two home that we could almost excuse them for having a hangover from Barcelona. And Steve McNamara said, "Oh, we've been on the road for quite a while." We said
Look like they've been on the sauce for quite
they've
a
got
while.
two home games against London and Hull. We said this will be a true
turning point.
indication
Yeah.
for who they are and what they are.
Exactly.
They lose to London, as London were magnificent, played them off the park, played a brand of rugby that even, you looked at them and went, actually, have they got the wrong jerseys?
Agree.
They look like- so you think, right, well, they're at home all
Agree.
week, it's 30 odd degrees.
Agree.
The team that you've just read out
Agree.
is a good team on paper.
Agree.
And they get worse.
So I don't know
why is it going to be different?
I don't know why they're playing like under eights, but the only people who know why they're playing like under eights is the players themselves. And Steve McNamara, he's last in them and this sort of thing, but when you look at all the egos in that dressing room and you look at how he handles them sort of players, because they're from everywhere, aren't they? You know what I mean? And it's the players who've got to address it. But I'm just thinking they're playing Leeds. Leeds are out of form totally from there. They're coming to a magnificent stadium from there. It's going to be boiling hot there. That quality, what they've got, I think there will be a reaction. I don't want it to happen, but I just think it will happen again for them this weekend.
I'm not so sure. We should do 2 Twitter polls. Who would you rather have, Matty Smith or Richie Mara? And the other one
None
is
of the above.
who is going
This
to
is
play?
like
Who
Boris-
is going to play first for Leeds? Ashton Golding or Gary
It's
Schofield?
like Boris Johnson versus
And I
Jeremy
think
Hunt.
both of them will be 50.
Do you think if Leeds do, and we can talk about the transfer speculation, I know we haven't done every other game and we will come back to it, but if Leeds were to have Robert Louis in their ranks this week, would that make a difference?
Just to throw one in then, one of Mark's media friends who's a Hull supporter, as he would say, perhaps, Robert Louis, is he all that?
Well,
Call us now.
is it? Is it?
Will he make a
Just ask
difference?
him.
Well,
I'm saying if they
well,
get him, they want him in by
John-
Wednesday,
So-
if the deal's going to happen.
Right. I think
Will
he's
he
a
make
very
a
good
difference?
player, but will he be a very good player playing on his own behind that pack of forwards?
That's what I'm just saying. You,
As someone who played in a Leeds team behind
without a
a
pack of
pack of forwards.
Exactly, exactly. And do you know what? Some of the players may think, I don't really fancy him. I think some of the players don't fancy Lola here, so it's a tricky
He's
one.
got a kicking game,
It's-
which they clearly haven't got. At the moment.
It's a tricky. Well, they've got any game.
Yeah, but
They've got
that's
any
the big
game.
old man's got a kicking game.
They've got any game, to be honest with you, Phil, but it's a tricky one for me. But they've got to get somebody because quite simply, Myler's not good enough. Sutty's not good enough from there. It's been proven
Does
time and
Myler
time
and
again.
Louis? make
But
a
if you put
partnership?
Sutcliffe again with someone who is a very good halfback, I think he's functional, Sutcliffe. You know, he's not a halfback that's going to lead you around the field, but he can. If you say a Louis, you play where you want to play, I'll boot it on the last tackle type thing. I think Sutcliffe is all right at that. I don't have a problem with that. I think when he's got no one playing at the side of him, it makes him look even
Or
worse.
is the recognition now that Sutcliffe is a back rower?
Oh no, look, I've said that for ages. I think his best position is as a forward. Give him the ball, let him run at people. He causes
And he can
problems.
make 40 tackles. if
He can,
wants to.
but it
See,
needs
look,
more.
you see-
If you're telling me if Louis comes in,
Yeah.
I'd play him with Sutcliffe.
You see
I
also,
think Sutcliffe will
you
do
see
the
also
job.
well, at the moment in time when we're looking at the Leeds halfbacks, there's just simply no variation whatsoever.
Yeah,
No
Louis is
variation
going
in
to bring
bowling.
that,
No
though, isn't he? Louis is
yeah,
going
I
to
agree
bring
with
that.
that.
And he's got some physical power, which they haven't got as well. He can take the line on. There's nobody in that Leeds team at the moment in the half-back areas that can take the line on.
Yeah, but also as well, Phil, an halfback doesn't have to go through the line for this. So
Nobody can. There's
Yeah,
variety and option, which there isn't at the moment. It's too predictable.
but all he needs to be doing is just reading and assessing, processing what's going on. It's easily done, So.
Do you think that would, the question? Do you think if it arrives, that will make a difference?
Well, it's got to make a difference. That's what they are. Honestly, Phil. Me, do you know what? And I don't really think this is ridiculous. Me and you are a better halfback partnership than Mile and Sutcliffe. Stick that on the pole. Even with Phil with his kneecap bandaged up.
Danny Richardson?
Phil, you be a stand-up first man, right? And all I would say to you is, right, when I call for the ball, just pass me the bloody thing. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to. I'll make you look good by passing the ball, Phil.
Right.
Yeah, I'll make you look good.
Catalans' last 4 results, Gary.
Yeah.
Lost 51-8.
Yeah.
Lost 34-4.
Yeah.
Lost 30-12.
Yeah.
And lost 50 points to 10.
Yeah. They'll turn it around.
They're about 182-30 in the last 4 weeks.
Mine's Alan Morgan, Josh. We'll put on the
I
right
look
place.
forward to buying.
Soften them up for Wakefield in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we right here quickly. One word. Do you think Leeds will finish bottom? I'm not going to say get relegated because I don't think they will get relegated wherever they finish. where do you think Leeds will finish bottom? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
No. See, we're all Leeds, aren't we?
Yeah.
Do we need to
Oh,
talk
we are
about?
Leeds.
Do we need to talk about Castleford?
Well, someone tweeted in the other day after
Which Castleford team? The good one or the rubbish one?
after the results on Friday. # West Yorkshire in crisis because Wakefield are in crisis.
Yeah, here we are.
Leeds are in crisis. Huddersfield are in crisis, and now Cass are in crisis. So they are.
Castleford men in crisis. Let's get this
Yes,
right.
Castleford men in crisis. Did you see the George Roach chip and chase try for Cass ladies? Oh, I'll show you it later. Brilliant.
No,
You'd have loved it, Scott. You'd have loved it. You'd have loved it. Little chip over the top. They're on the full-back. Off you go.
I didn't see. Just quickly, I was watching the Origin yesterday, and did you see the pass on Blake Ferguson? The 20 yards, just reverse lovely spin pass, and Paul Vorton said, I'd say it was just like watching the King. And then they just made the comment, it was Brad Fittler, Brandy, Greg Alexander was a quarter scrum and our full-back as well, and they've got Baderas as well on the coaching staff. It was simple. All they are told to do is, when they see space, let the ball do the work and play into space. You know what? Rugby league is quite simple. Just let the players do what they want and play. Anybody can drop a ball, but I'm all about playing what you see and play with that vision and awareness. Please let them do
A
it.
couple of the tries they scored, particularly the Tedesco flick pass inside.
Yeah, but again, Phil, it's just playing into space. So it was a kick downfield, a bit of a ball chase, but still there was playing into space and letting the ball do the work. The pitch is 77 yards wide long. And I want
Wide long.
Hold on, is it wide?
Wide
or
long.
well wide anyway. It's under whatever terminology you want to put on it. And do you know? I would love to get hold of Richie Man and sit. I would love to sit with Richie and say, Richie, just tell me as a halfback, what is your process? What is your thought thinking? Please just tell me. Please, and if I can help you, I would love to help you. I would, but I don't get it. And I'd love to help Mike Smith. I'd like to ask him, Martin, what's your thought process? First of all, I'd say to him, gentlemen, you're too slow in what you're doing. That would be the first thing I would say to him. You're too slow in what you're doing now. Explain to me what your process is. I'll try and help you to speed up what your thought process is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway. What do I know?
You can tell us what your process is of eating your curry next week when you're paying for it. Right, Castleford, go on then. You want your say on Cass?
No, I'm just saying that.
Beaten by Salford out of the top 5, down to 7th.
And at what point does Darryl say things aren't working?
Well,
and how does he change
if
it?
speculation is to be believed, that might have already been said internally already. I'll say what I said last. I've said it for a few weeks now. The belief's gone at Cass. The belief has gone. Rich was right. I'd bow down to Richard. After the 2017 grand final, 2014, when did Buck get beat?
2017.
2017 grand final. The RSW after the match said, "That's cast, done, finished." And I really don't like to say it, but I think he's right. I think their era, their window of opportunity is past.
Corridor of opportunity.
Should it be a worry? I mean, the 2 points off being in the top 5, but they're 6 points off.
Well, if they beat London this weekend, they'll be back. They could be. Depends how many points they win by. Could be back in the top 5.
That'll be a points avalanche, won't it, Castleford? Because London will just come out and play, won't they?
Well, look, I don't know.
How
I
do they
just-
turn it
I just
around?
think
Because they
they've
seem to have gone from a team that had an aura of invincibility about them, particularly at home, to a team now that can't seem to score points.
Phil, the style of play has been found out, hasn't it? The style of play has been found out, and they're still heavily going to that left-hand side, but it's obvious the two main men who was part of that left-hand side, well, there's 3 of them, isn't there? Luke Gale, Zach Hardacre and Michael Shetton, they're not there.
So why would you keep going to the left-hand side? If
They've lost 7 of their last 9 games in all competitions, Castleford. 7 of 9.
Well, because I guess that's Truman likes to play there, but also as well.
So how do they turn it around? Because again, they might have lost Junior Moores with an injury, but
What are they going to do with Mitch Clark?
well, they're going to send him to Halifax.
Yeah, but what do we think about
They
that?
played Halifax yesterday.
What do we think about that? In all genuine.
Oh, is that who's going to Wigan?
Yeah,
It
He's
looks
been one of their best players,
it
hasn't
looks petty.
it
Well,
looks. Yeah, I agree. It does
Especially
look
when we
better.
know most of the London team is leaving. Everyone knows, even though none of it's official, everyone knows all these players leaving London. They just go on and get on with their jobs.
Yeah.
Surely you've got to be of the mindset that these people who know they've got jobs elsewhere next season are still going to be professional in finishing off their jobs.
Well,
I'd be more worried about the ones who are playing for contracts.
having
and then
seen
stop playing afterwards.
Tyler Heppy, who's replaced him playing for Toulouse, he didn't
Man of the
hold-
match.
How did
He
he get
didn't-
man of the match on thing? And that is another farcical situation.
But he didn't hold back, did he?
No,
So Toulouse didn't turn around to him and say, "Go and play for Albi," which
Yeah.
was signed for Castleford.
Yeah, exactly.
Also as well, can I
Although it's
But
going to be telling him to go play for Catalans.
Can I
Is
say,
that an indication of what's wrong with Castleford, that Mitch Clark has gone?
I just don't
To
get it.
Halifax.
I don't get it. Clark has obviously gone in and said, "I want X,"
yeah.
and they said,
And
"We're
Wigan
not
are
paying you
prepared
X."
to-
And
but
he's
Wigan
gone, "Well, I can get X from elsewhere," and they've gone, "Well, go get X from elsewhere," and he has done. And
Well,
now he's not even he's not good enough to get in that team.
Right. Well,
Seems
can I sling this in? You might say, "Scott, it's a load of Coswell," but
Generally do.
they're another club who's got a director of rugby.
Well,
Something
So
doesn't
no,
seem
look
quite
at
right.
Scoyle was quite proud of himself.
They're
He's
another-
been thinking about that.
I mentioned it to you the other day, didn't I? They're another club with a director. And to be honest with you, why do rugby league clubs need directors? of
Until
rugby?
Workington rang him up and go, "Will you be our director of rugby?" And he was, "Of course I will, yeah, absolutely."
That's a bit harshful. Hold on, I'm trying to get us a gigs Halifax at Leeds this weekend. Eh?
Yeah, but they've got no money.
No, I'm asking the question.
They've spent it all
I'm
on
asking,
salary
I'm,
cap.
t-
I
I'm
don't
asking
know
the
whether
question.
that's upset
They're
the
another
balance.
club with a director of rugby.
But it seems, I think you said it last week, it seems to be that their key players, the ones who they've relied upon and who performed so magnificently over the last 2 or 3 years, aren't hitting that level of form at the moment.
In the comfort zone. Nobody
I
get
don't know.
dropped.
I don't
Matt Shane's out of form. Matt Meekie's out of form. Truman's out of form. Big
Milner.
players out of form. Eden's out of form.
Machine's off to Newcastle.
Sorry?
Milner.
Miller's out of form. Exactly. The total spine, or the majority of the major players. they're
Well,
out
does
of
that
form.
not say that something could happen and they turn it on like that and they go with the
In the
next
same
7
as what
games?
you're saying
I agree.
about Catalan.
I
Could
agree.
they do that?
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? Or the
Yeah.
coach would like to think so. He's just waiting for the spark to
So
happen.
2
But-
wins in
but-
9 is
well,
terrible
But
form.
but also as well, a coach can only do so much. The players have got to start taking responsibility for their performances. The players have got to do. But unfortunately, as I've just said, because nobody gets dropped anymore, there's no A team anymore from there. There's nobody giving them a kick up the backside. They're in the comfort zone and nobody gets dropped.
They're on contract, so they're being paid
They're in the comfort zone.
irrespective.
So they don't get dropped. So it doesn't matter if they play good, bad, and indifferent. They don't get left out.
Wakefield, Rich?
We're in crisis 5 in a row. So I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago.
Is it crisis?
Well, kind of. I mentioned
It will be if they don't win this
Yeah, I
week.
mean, it's a massive
It
game.
will be.
massive game
This
on
is
Friday.
huge. Huge game.
I mentioned a couple of weeks ago when we had some absolute morons in charge of the club. They sacked Andy Kelly when he'd lost 5 games in a row, despite the fact that when you look back on things now, he's one of the most important coaches in the history of the club. I've seen people calling for Chris Chester's head.
Well, that's the world we live You're only
we've
judged
been
on
fifth-
last week's
We've been
result.
fifth the last 2 seasons. 3.
You wait till we go part of the podcast
I know.
charts in Mexico.
Oh, I know.
There'll be some heads being called for on this show.
Well,
Three.
Switzerland's happened already.
3 dream team players out of the squad. Probably got an 8 at the weekend, bloody hell. He must be playing alright.
Is
Are you sure it's not a 3? Is that a mystery?
Yeah.
his contract about the season? Is that why he's playing?
It is.
Competition?
Yeah.
Lost at Wolves. Well, expected to do that, so that's okay. Big games this week. I'm concerned.
Huge game this week, Rich.
I've seen these Wakefield Huddersfield games in the past that have been massively disappointing. We've lost them. Going back to in those days of John Harbin in charge. There's one for the old memory banks. But the hope is that Bill Tupu's back this week.
But
not that
seriously,
recently.
what can you expect
For a player
from
who's been
someone
out for
who's been
months.
out? Because we've seen this with players at other clubs. That you have to give them some leeway. They're not going to come back as the dream team centre.
Maybe.
No, but they're going to.
They're going to give you an extra dimension.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't heap to. Oh, he's back.
Bill
therefore
Bill
we'll win.
Tupu, by pulling a shot on and playing at centre, has 20% to his winger because the
Yeah.
guy who's
Yeah.
opposite him goes, I've got
But
to
you
get him.
can't expect the same Bill Tupu.
No, sir.
He's not coming back too early though, is he? From
No,
Inter?
I get the
Is it-
impression he's
is
not. I
it
think
the
they've
right
actually
side?
held. I think they might have held him
Okay.
back.
Because
So-
they brought Buffy back too early, haven't they, with the broken thumb. I'm just thinking they were too. Are they bringing him too early?
Do some of the players believe the hype too much? Perhaps they do. I tell you what, I wasn't impressed with at the weekend, and obviously I didn't see the game. I was at St Helens, but I saw the tweet afterwards with the aforementioned Wolfie and David Fafita. I don't think after you've lost the game, you should be prattling around with the opposition's mascot for them to sell tickets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think that's.
You won't be saying that when Big Dave's
Scores the hat-trick, yeah.
knocking him out after the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, knocked him out.
Just have to beat Huddersfield, I'm not bothered. As we said at the start, it's so tight, isn't it, that it is probably Wakefield might need a couple of wins and that's it.
I think if they win this week, they then got Catalans away.
Yeah.
So they,
Wakefield.
yeah, the next 2 weeks. I'm going to say it now, right? If they don't win on Friday, they are in deep relegation trouble. I think if you said to me, here's a bet, who are you going to put on to finish bottom? Not get relegated, I'm going to say finish bottom. I think the Giants are the team.
Yeah,
I just think this game on Friday is massive. Absolutely massive.
Well, do you know what? A couple of weeks ago we said about the 5, so I was just mentioning from there, but I think now we know who's going to be the top 3's in there. Saints, Warrington, and Hull. They're definitely
You
in
think
the
Hull
5.
can finish second?
No.
Yes.
No.
I do.
No.
Definitely.
They've said
Well,
they
St
can.
Helens beat Warrington
Yeah.
this week. They'll win, and
Yeah.
they'll be 2 points off.
Well, maybe, but as I say, definitely 3 teams now because it was only 2 a couple of weeks ago. But now, who is going to be the other 2 teams for the 5?
What was that?
We don't know.
The thing is, at the start of the
We
season,
don't know.
when we did all the predictions at the start of the season, there was very much the.
You've got
same-
Sling Wigan in the.
Well,
In the
only
middle,
if they win
you've got
against
it.
Salford this week.
Yeah. Can we just quickly go back to Huddersfield? So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
changed tack. Speaking of a big run of games, right? Away at Wakefield, away at Salford, home to Catalan, away at Hull, home to Leeds. We'll know about Huddersfield in 5 weeks. Well, I'd say 3 weeks. We know if they're up or they're in the mire. That run of games is not a run of games you want when you've just lost big back-to-back.
Well, Leeds' next 4 games is Catalans, Cass, Hull, and I think you're saying Huddersfield there.
Yeah.
So look at that then. Boy, oh boy. Eh?
But it's what we want.
Yeah, it is.
We get.
Oh,
I don't want
they've
as
got Hull.
I don't want as a Leeds fan. I don't want as a Leeds fan. I want Leeds to be second in bloody well league, not bottom.
We got accused the other week on, I think it was YouTube, one of the comments saying that is this just a Super League show? I said no, because we haven't got John Wilkin and Richie Manners on the programme. And they've got proper cameras and stuff. So we need to talk about life outside.
So they use blue tack.
I don't think so. But they're also, it's thanks to the unique way they're funded, they can do their programme. So those old people, they don't pay the TV invoices anymore.
No, I thought they had to now.
Oh yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
Good to see Rugby League latching on to any old celebrity as questionable as they can be. And outside of the top flight, Barrow, what a result, winning away at Featherstone Rovers to go 7 points clear of Rochdale, who are rock bottom of the Championship and may as well be relegated now. Toronto march on, having beaten Toulouse 28-16 at Beach Day.
Is the worry for Toronto that the
They're
10
on cold.
points clear, when the big games come around, they haven't been tested enough? I don't know. I watch them on telly every week, and they're doing more than enough to win every game. But is it enough once?
Well, I watched the game at the weekend, and
I watched it as well.
yeah, and you look at who Toulouse didn't have available. Toronto pretty much at full strength. Who probably Chase Stanley would have played.
Yeah, and they're making selection decisions as well, which shows that
no,
the people are available.
Yeah, but on the fringes, the team's pretty static. The team pretty much picks itself. And you look who didn't play for Toulouse, and they lost to ultimately a 78th minute try. I'd be concerned about that. I'd be concerned.
You don't think that the man that they've got in charge knows how to handle a playoff series?
And that's the that's the swaying thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
I think you need to be tested.
you can't win every game. No. You don't win every game, every big game. I don't know. I'm with you. I think they could probably do with a kick up the backside, if you know what I mean.
Lee under the radar.
Well, they signed loads of players, don't they? Because they've signed more players. They won 14 at Dewsbury. Interesting, Ryan Browley's on the way back there again, apparently according to the paper today. Well, they did like my tweet linking with Leeds, which I thought was interesting. Bradford beat Halifax again, but Bradford's still outside the top 5.
It's down to 7 now, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I think it's down
Halifax
to
are
7
out of
now.
it now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So again, they've changed coach and that's gone well. Workington changed coach and that's gone well. That's in League One that we haven't come to that yet. York beat Swinton 16-12. That sounds like a tight game. And Widnes edged out Batley on Friday 28-22.
Which they needed to do, otherwise they would have been again the bottom 2.
Sheffield did what they had to do, beat Rochdale 46-24 to just be outside the place. Obviously that defeat for Featherstone. We've now got 3 teams on 24 points, Toulouse, Lee and York. What a season for York.
Yeah,
what a season.
unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
I think you forget with York that they were promoted last
I
year.
know.
Like Bradford, so it's happening again.
I have to say,
We were
I think Scully said York would be in the top 5.
Yeah,
and I was like,
top
I
5.
thought Bradford would be in the top 5 and York would be where Bradford are.
York consolidation we thought, but no.
League One, Whitehaven are still top. They lost to North Wales 24-22. So the gap is now 1 to Hunslet to beat the West Wales Raiders.
I bet Workington are really clear they sat there, coach.
Yeah.
They plummeted.
Well, Doncaster lost at the weekend and went up a place.
I'm going to Whitehaven in a couple of weeks' time. I've been invited to hospitality at Whitehaven Oldham game.
What is the hospitality at Whitehaven?
I forgot what pie they call it. Some pie anyway. Pie.
Jam pie.
I don't know what pie it is. Yeah, but I've been invited to their hospitality. Yeah, so I'm
Apologies.
Whitehaven Oldham game in 7th of July.
Could be a decider, that.
7th
big
of July.
game.
Yeah,
Can't-
7th of July.
Will West Wales ever win a game?
No.
Like ever?
No.
I don't know.
It's not looking good, is it?
No.
Women's Challenge Cup quarter-finals, and Castleford before the weekend were 1-3 to win the cup. They beat Bradford 48-8. 1,500 people there.
Record
Just
crowd.
about.
Brilliant.
I don't understand why. We need to sell these things to people because the mainstream media.
So there were more at Castleford Ladies than there were at Sheffield and Swinton added together.
The
More
England,
than every other League One
Yeah.
attendance.
the England
Yeah.
wheelchair game results got on the BBC website because the RFL sent out a press release. Why did they not send out a press release about this crowd on its own? Not the other games. I know there's something about the whole competition.
Well, it's not as if there isn't a lot of focus on women's sport at the moment.
I know.
1,492. Kelsey Gentles, she's another one of these people who we can make into a star because she's got personality, but we're still stuck with the same old second division players we're trying to make into stars. Saints battered Wigan 36-0.
Yeah.
We
Just think how big the crowd would have been at Cass if there had been 30,000 people watching the Our League game
Or
at the same
Bradford,
time.
or Bradford haven't been playing at the same time. The men
Mm.
might have picked up some
Or how
scores.
many people might have watched the St Helens Wigan game if there wasn't another women's game in the cup going on at exactly the same
On,
time? Which is also being streamed.
I don't know how many people watch on the Our League app because we don't know, but on Twitch I think it hit about a high of 1,500 watching the Saints Wigan blowout. She's not bad. Wakefield, whoa, only just 26-24 against Keighley Albion. Lisa Taylor's boot.
Are they now not the lambs to the slaughter in the
Well,
semi-final?
yes, but you know, I still believe. We've still got a dream of Wakefield in the Challenge Cup final.
You're not going to be making the Castleford Tigers pre-match meal, are you? I sense there could be a betting coup on here.
Standing outside their hotel the night before with a big drum.
I don't want to say it'd be something
pressing the fire alarm.
If
Surely they stay in a local hotel, don't they? The Roger Thorpe Manor.
If the bookies gave Leeds 32 over Warrington, what do you think they're going to give Cass over Wakefield?
But the other semi-final will be fantastic.
Oh yes, 74-0 Leeds. I watched that game. Some great tries. Is it Francesca Goldthorpe who's doing a GCSEs or something? It's got a hat. It's ridiculous.
By the way, we mentioned Wakefield. One of their young players, is ill, isn't she? I saw that on social media.
I'll find that.
Yes, is it Lulu? Yeah, I tweeted this afternoon. Our thoughts with her, and hopefully the strength she needs in her illness will get her through it.
I think that was all the results. They did the draw on a local radio station, which couldn't be asked to tweet it out afterwards. But it's Wakefield.
I reckon we should make this a feature around about 7:45, and then we can all go. We'll just set you off at 7:45. We'll just go.
Oh, it's all right. No one listens to their panel tonight anyway. It's Wakefield versus Castleford.
Apologies to the podcast.
And Saints versus Leeds, which hopefully they put on the Our League app, because that'll be a good game. That one.
But hopefully there's nothing on at the same time.
Why don't they put them both on?
Why don't they do it as a double header?
Yeah.
I don't know. When's the Challenge Shield final played? And does anyone care?
And who's in it?
Well, according to the paper, there are no results in 3 of the matches. I know Featherstone beat Halifax. And Barrow beat Weakness, and I'm assuming the Army beat Stanley because I know they're playing Featherstone in the semi-finals, but I don't know who won between York and the RAF because I've not checked. But so 1,500 at Cash yesterday. Have we jumped up and down about it? We've got to beat that 5,000. We've got to beat that number that was made up in the Rugby Union this season. We can do it. We just have to give out a load of tickets and tell people we've sent 5,000. We need to do it because we need to jump off our feet and tell people we're doing this because it's never been I'll write in a magazine instead because you've heard it all before.
Have you done?
Yeah.
Are you alright?
Yeah.
Do you want a hug?
Nah.
You okay?
Yeah.
You sure?
I think so, yeah. Well, it depends on how the semi-final goes.
No, come on. You're bigger than that. You're bigger than that.
Be alright.
Yeah, they've done well to get to this semi-final. They weren't even in Super League last year. Wakefield. Look at them now.
Growing. Right, that's
in
gonna,
Super League.
I tell you what, the final's going to be good though. Whoever makes it through from that to the semi-final.
Are you going to wear your straw butter and your blazer for the final?
For the final,
like you did last
got
year?
accreditation, haven't I? Well, yeah.
Cravat, I think.
I don't think I'll be resuming my role from last year anyway.
No. Never mind.
Never mind.
How things change.
I know. It's our fault, isn't it?
It is.
It's all our fault. It's all our fault.
People don't want to hear us maudling, they want to hear us cracking on. Right, who do we need to talk about? Warrington beat Wakey. Salford, big win for them. What about Salford then? Rob Louis on his way, we understand.
Jackson Hastings
on his way, we understand.
Do you know what? It's a funny one with Jackson Hastings because Barclay Leeds to report made an offer of £400,000 for him.
It's not fun.
Well,
they made an offer for him though.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, well, that's what it says in the league expectation.
Not for 10 games.
But as I said, but it's a funny with Jackson Hastings because what he wants in his contract is he wants the NRL release clause in it. Well, he's not going to get that. Someone's going to spend big money on him, is he? No way.
Do you think the other thing is that what we're missing here is actually Joey Lussett? How good is Jackson Hastings without Joey Lussett? Because they came as a pair. They've played brilliantly together. They've grown up together.
I think Jackson Hastings is just a decent player, isn't he? You know, he's a very good player in Super League.
But is he a better player?
They're a good partnership.
They're a brilliant partnership. Oh yeah.
One about Louis as well.
Yeah, Louis. Yeah. They're a brilliant partnership, you know. But what the Salford forwards do, I was watching them last week. It's just simple. They get them in good field position, and they just dictate. They start dictating around about 40-50 metres out on their own try line, and that's what our pack should be doing instead of waiting. They are looking to play on the 4th and 5th tackle, whereas instead of going through the motions, playing off the back of penalties for good field position, they are looking to play. It's like Lomax and Farge there, and you know they're looking to play from there and make openings and play with that vision and awareness where a lot of teams aren't doing it.
So if Salford lose Louis, and they may lose Hastings, probably not. What happens for Salford for the rest
Well, they're not making the 5, that's for sure, if they lose them two. Not a chance. Not a chance because they're the two best players. They're They're ripping the heart out of them. Simple as that. So they're not making the five if them two go. Or maybe one of them goes.
And then they've got Josh Jones leaving, Daryl Alford's leaving.
But they're not going to end the season, are they?
No, but I'm just saying,
Although apparently the way played at the weekend might not be a bad thing.
Who's that?
Alford's had a bit of a shock about
Oh, right. But again, the coach himself, you know, he gets a tune out of his players from there. And yeah, they've been a bit inconsistent at times, haven't they? But when they're on and when they're hot, I'll tell you, they could beat anybody in there.
but
proven.
he can't make changes either because he hasn't got the squad.
No, exactly. No, he can't.
I just think it's a shame that we get to a point with some clubs where it's almost like they've reached their threshold and they have to go down again and rebuild to go back up. And it seems a shame because Ian Watson doesn't deserve that. He's better than that.
In player welfare news has been pointed out on social media by Matt and by who else was it? David. It's the Degsy Decking Trophy midweek this week as the road to Wembley continues. I don't know the fixtures because it's not in my paper because they can obviously be bothered with it. But I think Sheffield.
Doncaster, Sheffield.
Yeah, at Featherstone.
At Featherstone. Lee Barrow at St Helens.
Oh, thank you.
Widnes Dewsbury and York Batley.
Lee Barrow at St Helens. Why can't they play at their own ground? Lee.
Is it used
Man, yeah,
for football?
it
It might be getting reseeded, might for football, to be honest with you. Tell you what would be great if York got to Wembley, wouldn't it? It'd be brilliant.
Yeah. It'd be great if Widnes got to Wembley. And Sheffield, because the story.
Alright, here's one. Who would you back to win that now? Who would you back to win that cup now?
You can't rule out York.
Well, Widnes have got a great chance, haven't they? Because they're not going to get in the top four.
But do they need to secure their
they're going to be
status?
all right because the teams below them are not as good as them. That would be my theory.
There are some worries about Widnes' financial viability going forward as well. I would think that I don't know. You can't rule out Lee with the players that they're recruiting at the moment. The form that.
But what type of team are they going to put out? Or is the fact that they have gone on a bit of a run mean that they could potentially? Who have they got next week?
I think they'd want to
See,
go
they're
to
at
Wembley.
Sheffield on Sunday. That's
So
not
both,
easy. That's
both
a
teams are
massive
playing
game.
midweek, aren't they? So
but that's a massive game, isn't it? In terms of the top four.
there's still a lot of games to go.
Yeah, but I'm not sure you could afford to drop 2
I
points.
think if you're Lee, you're maybe a chairman of a club who is investing heavily at the moment.
In the competition.
Getting to Wembley will get you some of that investment back. Will justify the players that you're signing at the moment. So I wouldn't rule Lee out. Lee York could be a good find.
Yeah.
Contrasting styles a little bit.
Oh, there's a bookmaker's taking bets on it. Is that what you'd expect? Because they would. I'm just trying to find the.
It's a shame again that, and it's you know, I think the concept is a great idea. It's just a shame these games are being played in midweek.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
Is it on the app?
no, well, it doesn't say that it is. I mean, it hasn't been. I don't know if it's been announced.
I just think if we'd had an international break this week, they could have played, couldn't they?
Well,
Those
that's how you do
fixtures
it,
could
isn't
have
it?
been played
That's
this
how-
weekend.
Cass, by the way, now 2-7 to win the Women's Challenge Cup. Saints 4s. I tipped them at 8 at the weekend. Leeds 6 and Wakey 25's got to go.
Who is the best team in the Women's Super League? Who's the best team?
Castleford, isn't it?
Are they?
Cass,
This season so far.
So why are they the best side in? Why?
Just now.
They were good last year, and they've recruited, and they're even better.
So all the girls that they've got,
They signed-
they've gone from Loch Lane and
That's
Castleford.
like Rhiannon Marshall from Leeds, and she's the best player in the competition.
They signed somebody from Leeds, have they?
Yeah.
Why was that allowed, Phil?
It's a salary. No,
Leeds is skint in it.
Because I
Is
think
she a halfback? Is she a halfback?
13.
loose
She's
forward.
a proper 13. Proper
Leeds,
13.
Right.
Leeds
come
have
on.
got a lot of players coming through, and I think that's how it's supposed to work.
Right,
Share
okay.
out the time.
To win the 1895 Cup, Leeds 6-4, Widnes 5-2, York 6s, Sheffield 8s, 12-1 bar.
Interesting. I'll have a think about that tomorrow. Right, let's have a look at the predictions then. I think this is another huge week. We kick off on Thursday. Hold on, what's that?
York Batley's on our league, according to Matt Horton.
Alright, okay, cool.
Good. I'll watch
Yeah, good.
So,
Right, we start off on Thursday, 27th of June, at Hull Care against Hull FC. Legend.
Yes, well, Huddersfield Rovers, well, they will have scored a few points, but also the big problem is conceding plenty. And the way the Black and Whites are playing, I just can't see any of a win, to be honest with you. And I'm not going for the Black and Whites because I used to play for them and I want to, save a bit of face and a bit of pride, to be honest with you. But I just feel as though the way Hull are playing, they can beat anybody at this moment in time. The forwards are laying a platform, there's plenty of purpose from there. good creativity and variation from the halfback. Jake Connolly's in great form. We've seen the centre coming from Buchanan, Shaw's hitting his form, the winger, Nalodi.
Malaga.
Everybody's just in great form for the black and whites, and I just can't see how Rovers can hold them. Honestly, I just cannot see how they can hold them, and I think the black and whites will win this quite easily. And I know now, the red and white said, is it seen as a red and white fan? Oh, you're only saying it because you're black and white. I'm not saying it at all. I tipped you to finish higher than what the black and whites do this season. So that's what I felt the side what you had before the season started. But the black and whites, everybody's playing to their potential. I think this will be easy for the black and whites. I'm going 24 to Hull.
I think that Tony Smith will have an impact on Rovers' defence. I'm just not sure it'll be enough this week because Hull look like they can score from anywhere. We talk a lot about what's the difference between teams at this stage in the season, confidence and belief. The way that, the manner in which Hull dismantled Catalan, that is why I think they'll win. There is an issue with turning it around, but London proved that you can fly back from Perpignan and still win on a Thursday night. I think Hull, was it today, were on Bridlington Beach and have had cryo chambers, so they'll be well prepared. There'll be a nervy atmosphere around Craven Park because for Hull KR it's more of a must-win game. But I just cannot see at the moment Hull losing on the basis of the fact that every week they're getting better and they're building up to some very big games, not least the semi-final. That'll be in their eye. So I'm going Hull, but I think it will be closer than you, so I'm going Hull by 10.
There's going to be a Hull badge up here as well because I'm going for Hull FC as well. I'm going to go for them by 12. I wanted to go by more, but for some reason I think it's a derby, so Hull KR will be better. I don't know why. There's no real reason to say there will be other than that. That's the kind of thing people say. But Hull, having written them off earlier in the season, and like Scully, having tipped Hull KR to finish above them, that's not going to happen now. Hull are very impressive. Hull are in form. Hull by 12. FC.
Yeah, the worry I have about Hull in brilliant form and confidence must be sky high, and it may well be enough. Short turnaround. Hull KR played Thursday night. Hull played Saturday, red hot in the south of France. Can they turn them around? We saw London do it this week. They managed it, didn't they? They managed a short turnaround and won. So I've got to back Hull. I think it'll be tight. I think Rovers won't give up without a fight. I would say Hull by 4.
The other thing we don't know is whether Matt Parcell will be playing for the which could make, as you say, could make a difference. New player coming in who plays in that.
You're right, you could do.
Well,
If you want to change, you've got to say if Matt Parcell plays,
No,
I'll go.
Hull
Okay.
will still-
Leeds
Well, we've all
fans,
tipped Hull, which means, based on recent
Okay,
prediction on this show, okay, I'll win by about 40-0.
Leeds fans are hoping Matt Parcell plays for Hull KR. That means they can sign him a bit lower. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying.
Right, a
if
big
it-
game and a huge one, even bigger than the one on Thursday, I think, this one, because this is the two teams who can stop sinking, Wakefield or Huddersfield Giants. Get it, go for it.
Yeah, well, both coaches are very frustrated, and I think they're like a little bit angry as well, aren't they, the way the both sets of players are playing for their coaches, and there's not a lot of quality, is there? Not a lot of quality, not a lot of consistency, not a lot on attack, not a lot on defence, so I just don't know what we're going to get, what sort of a game. We're going to get a quality game, we're going to get a rubbish game, we're going to get an indifferent game, and the Huddersfield fans wanting Wolf attacking, and the Wakefield fans wanting Chester. I just don't know what we're going to get with this fixture. I think this is going to finish a draw. After the golden point, it's a draw. After golden point, I don't think there's anything to split between these two sides. It's a draw.
I've not got a thing for a draw. We'll have to draw something now. It's not good.
Draw.
A draw after golden point.
I'll get a picture of the set.
Because do you know why I'm saying that? Because if it's a draw after 80 minutes, which I think it will be, and a draw after the golden point, I just think they're both that bad at doing what they're doing. They won't settle for it properly. Honestly, that's how bad these two teams are at this moment in time. It's a draw after the golden point.
It's not Radio Leeds pick. This is their commentary game on Friday. Well, after them.
I've just got a sneaky feeling that Wakefield will turn it around. I think Huddersfield are in a bit of a trough, and as you said, there doesn't seem to be anything that Simon Wolford can say or do that is turning that around at the moment, which is not a reflection on him. It's like, we train every week, we know what we need to do, I go and watch my guys play, and they don't do what we need to do. I'm not sure what changes he can make for this week to turn that around. Whereas I think Wakefield, every week we're looking at new guys coming back from injury. I think Danny Brough will get better with each game he plays because he clearly, as you say, he isn't match fit and he isn't physically fit. But he'll be getting nearer every week, and in close games he will have an impact. There'll be very little in it. It's about the 105th time they've played each other this year, if you include friendlies. Wakefield by 3.
3.
Yeah.
I'm neutral, of course.
There'll be 2 up with not long to go.
If it's by 3, I'm going to buy you a curry as well.
As a independent broadcaster, I'm strictly neutral on these things. And I've said before on this programme, I joke about, hating Leeds. And I don't really. It's Huddersfield I can't stand.
And Bradford Bulls.
And Bradford Bulls. Oh,
And
that's
Castleford.
No, Huddersfield, didn't you?
When we nearly got relegated in 2001, just don't like it. So,
Okay.
laughed when Tony Smith got relegated. So I'm going to go for
What
Wakefield.
happened to him?
I don't know.
Did you like Huddersfield when I was in charge?
Well, I'm not that bothered with that.
You weren't a threat.
we were in the first division.
Oh, thanks. Not a
We were in
friend.
the first division. So yeah, I don't like Huddersfield.
Is there anyone you do like?
Yeah, Wakefield.
I'm starting to doubt that now.
And
Leeds
Leeds
women.
yeah, Castleford women now.
So we're going for Wakefield. Wakefield by 4. Please, just once. All these people in sport get in trouble for their religious beliefs. I have none. But if there is someone up there, please, just let us win this one. Wakefield by 4. It's in the name of the club, Trinity. It says it there.
I tell you what, before Mark starts, the 3 of us are thinking this is going to be a boring
It's
down
gonna be
game.
all- no, it's going to be terrible.
Unless Mark thinks different.
I think Wakefield will win. Wakefield by 14.
Will it be boring and downwards?
I'm not bothered as long as Wakefield win by
Well,
14.
this is all
I've
going
got
on, isn't it?
nothing further to add, really.
All our viewers are great because they've landed all their bets this week. Leon
They have,
Rowe.
yeah, loads of people
Yeah.
tweeted in,
So-
went through the card.
So
yeah.
far,
Same as
KR.
us.
Same as us, yeah.
You go
Yeah,
for a
I'll
card.
go
Put money on it.
Yeah.
You go for a card.
I
Rich, you get 6
can't
answers.
I can't remember from one week to the next.
Right, come on, let's crack on. Warrington, St Helens. It is second against first. We
Yeah.
really should be interested in it.
Mm.
I can't help but feel if it was the semi-final or the
Yeah,
grand final,
yeah.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
This week, I'm not overly bothered.
Yeah, plus as well, we're all from this side of the Pennines as well, aren't we? So we're not really bothered, to be honest with you.
Our
So,
podcast goes
I
as
think
far
it's-
as Mexico.
No, we almost got to Rochdale once on the podcast.
yeah, I think
The Tijuana taxis, all their fans
The
listen.
question for St Helens, they went through the motions against Leeds last week. Turn the tap on, turn it off. I would imagine Justin Holbrook could want a more intense, I want a more enthusiastic, longer minutes of that sort of effort and commitment and purpose. I don't think the Warrington forwards, the Landell Saints forwards, the creativity, the speed of what St Helens have got. The Saints have put a marker down against Warrington this Friday. I think the Saints have gone with the job. I'm going to St Helens by 14.
In some ways, although there isn't a lot riding on it, it's very important for Warrington.
It's more important for Warrington.
I think they need to prove that, as again, we're sensing that Hull are coming into form. Well, obviously there's a semi-final coming up for Warrington as well. They're going to be judged on the games at the end of the season where they were found wanting last year.
Yeah.
So I think in some respects they have to perform.
Yeah, and they got bullied by St Helens in the first game. Didn't
So to be taken seriously and not be dragged back into will they even finish in the top 2, I think they have to win.
They've got Saints. I think I'm pretty sure they've got Saints at home twice in the running.
But I just love what I'm seeing from Saints at the moment because I think there isn't an area of their squad that you can't get excited by. I think that all of their backs are capable of producing the incredible. I think they've got a mix of forwards that can do anything. They're clearly not the same team without James Roby, but I think Aaron Smith is getting better with the more game time that he gets. I can't see a weakness in Saints at the moment. So I'm going to go Saints by 6.
I'm hoping Tommy Makinson continues his good run of try scoring form at the moment, having tipped him at the start of the season to be the top try scorer and then doing absolutely nothing for most of the season. He's now starring and scoring those Tommy Makinson worldy tries. Justin Holbrook says the best ever at finishing. And I think he will be again. I'm using that reverse psychology of the plane. Warrington have gone too early with the plane.
Every time they've built a game up like this,
goes wrong,
they've
doesn't it?
struggled. Yeah, I agree with that.
So stick your social media and your wolfies in the bin. St Helens are going to win this one, and they're going to win by what have I put? St Helens are going to win by 4.
I think it's a game Warrington have to win. And I just wonder, with Saints losing Zebte and no Roby, it might well leave another couple out this week.
I don't know if he'll leave any out this week. I think
You think he'll have to out with a view to this
Yeah,
week?
I think it's a marker performance for them.
In which case, they're the better team. So I was really disappointed with Warrington at St Helens. I just thought they got outplayed, out-muscled, out everything. I worry about Warrington's pack. I really do worry about Warrington's pack. I hope St Helens turn up and take the chances that they will create. I think they'll leave too many points on the floor, but I just think they'll be too good. I think it'll be tight. Saints by 2. Wigan Salford, the battle for the top 5 continues. Who'll be playing for Salford? We don't know. Who will still be at Salford? We don't know at the time of the recording of this podcast.
We do know that Adam Walker won't be playing because
He's
he's the
back.
only player to be banned this week.
Wigan coming on the back of it on, is it 3 successive wins? They're at home.
Yeah.
Wigan Salford, score.
Yeah, they're coming. They're going on the radar. Wigan out. They're just going about the business nice and quietly from there, and just the way that they want it. And Salford, you can get quality, and or you can get average, can't you, from there? But I just feel as though the Warriors just get back to something like they want to do. Going about the business nice and quiet. They'll keep Jackson Hastings quiet. I'm going to Warrington. The Warriors to keep the roll going. I'm going Wigan by 10.
You get times when your form is inconsistent. You look to find a player that perhaps who you don't expect, who can help turn things around. I just think Chris Hankinson's form at the moment is absolutely fantastic.
I agree.
And I don't think you would have picked him as being the guy around who Wigan would have been, the catalyst for their improved form.
And his goal, championship.
And his goal kicking's really good.
Yeah.
Which again has been an Achilles heel for Wigan a little bit. I can't see Wigan losing. They seem to be getting a settled team, a settled way of playing under Adrian Lamb. They're moving forward. They're the team that nobody else wants to be in the top 5 who's going to be in there. You really wouldn't want to play them in a knockout game. We forget too easily that they are the defending champions, even though they've had real personnel issues this year. I think there is too much disruption at Salford at the moment. I'm not saying that they've decided that because they've got 18 points that they're prepared to allow some of their players to go, but I think they know that they're not in danger of relegation. A couple of weeks ago we were saying, half the league might be dragged into this. They deservedly beat Castleford to put themselves, I think, out of that picture.
Yeah.
Financially, the issues are bigger for Salford at the moment. They need to release some money to keep going this season and start building for next. I can't say anything other than a Wigan win. I think Wigan's issue has been scoring points, but I think they will this week. I think they'll win by 20.
All right. Rich?
I'm going Wigan as well. I joked last week they could still win the grand final, and they actually could.
Yeah, of course they can.
Which is both funny and tragic at the same time. But having seen how bad they were against Wakefield early in the season, when Dave Fafita, playing for a contract, blitzed them just before half time, they've improved. Although I did say the other week that Leeds were back and then they weren't within about 10 minutes of sending that tweet. So I'm going for Wigan, and I'm going for Wigan to win by 4 points.
I think if Louis leaves, by the time you watch this, it might well have left, he might not have left, but I think if he leaves, I think we talk about that band of brothers at London. Well, the band of brothers at Salford is breaking up big time. And I think Wigan will win. They've beaten them twice already this season, I think, haven't they?
Yeah.
I think they'll beat them again. I think they'll win quite easy. I'm going to go by 14. Right, Saturday, there are no games in the Super League, so we've got Sunday.
Well, there is Coventry Doncaster on our league.
It is.
Go on the Bears.
Castleford against London, 3:30 start. Down at the Jungle, Gary Schofield.
Who would have thought this before the season started, that the Castleford Tigers are out of form, the London Broncos are in brilliant form, Castleford Tigers are not playing as a team, and the Broncos are playing as a team. The Broncos, too much confidence, Castleford are out of sorts. This is the Broncos for me. They'll go there, play their confidence, play with that freedom, play with that awareness, play with that enjoyment, smile on the face. I'm going the Broncos by 10.
We've said over the last 3 weeks, this is the week that Castleford turn their form around, and so far they haven't. But I genuinely think this is the week that if Castleford don't win, they can almost write off the season.
I think they're one of the few teams they absolutely battered London. Was it 50 or 4 down at, or something like that, down at
This will be a week of hard words from Darryl behind the scenes. That he's got to get a tune out of some of his better players who are going to be playing. It's not like he's handling the injury crisis he had earlier on in the season. They've played together now for a few weeks. The guys in key positions are clearly going to be playing this week. I can't back against Castleford at home at the Jungle, and I absolutely appreciate everything London are doing at the moment. They've been a success story if they don't win another game this season. They've been a joy to watch. But I just think that this is Castleford's week to say we're still in the running for the top 5. So I'm going to go Cast by 16.
42-4, says Benny.
Oh, so apologies.
Remember last week me and Phil both gave Catalans another chance, and that worked out really well for us. So I'm going to give Castleford a chance today. I don't know why. I shouldn't I? Because London, they continue to confound the odds and this and that and the other. But I'm going to go for the Tigers because they are our nearest and sometimes dearest. And I'm going to go for them by 4.
Okay. My heart wants London to win. I've got to be honest. I want them to stay up. I just think it's been a really big 3 weeks, and I think at some point emotionally it's got to catch up with them.
Who have they got next week?
Warrington at home, I think.
They've just got to make sure they don't go on a slide.
Yeah, well, they've won 3 on the spin, but one of the form teams in the competition. I think they can win. I think if Cast don't win this week, the season, well, it's over. But I do think they'll win. I'm going to go Cast by 13.
13?
Yeah. And the final game, and it's one in which the curry is on, is Leeds against Catalan. I've got Leeds +6 already in the bank, so what do you say, Gary?
You have indeed, yes, and one for sure, I can taste my lamb tikka madras already, to be honest with you.
Is that on the pound saver menu?
Bit of rice and chapati, to be honest with you. And the reason why I think the Catalans are going to beat Leeds is simple. That they've got more quality than what Leeds have got. Both sides are out of form. Both sides are out of confidence. Both sides at this moment in time at times are playing like under 8s. So what sort of game we're going to get? Anybody who turns up on Sunday, you can tell me after, I guess, to be honest with you. But the Catalans have got too much quality. They'll turn it around this week because they know how poor Leeds are. It doesn't give me any joy in saying this. It's going to be the Catalans, and it's the Catalans by 13.
Leeds by 7.
Oh, 7.
Hello!
Phil, I'm going to get a drop goal. Have you seen them trying to set for drop goals this year?
Brad Dwyer. Brad Dwyer.
40 metres out.
Of course,
I'll get one just before half time.
Do you think?
this is Monday, just after 8 o'clock when we're recording this. Oh, I'm missing the second episode of Emmerdale or whatever. It's all exciting.
It's still on.
That Maya. So I'm going to go for Leeds because I love Leeds, as we discovered earlier on this programme. And by the time, of course, we've got to the game on Sunday, they'll have signed Cameron Smith. There's all that talk in the paper that he's going to come out of retirement for Queensland, but
They've
no.
already got a Cameron Smith.
Well, they're going to get the other one as well.
All right.
It's like when there's two Tony Smiths, you have
James
to work out
Maloney
which
they
one's
were
which.
linked with. I don't
No,
think
he's
he'll
not
be
coming
coming
in
out.
anymore. No. When there was two Tony Smith coaches, you had to work out which one was which. And there was a way of distinguishing them, but it's not from there. So I'm going to go for Leeds, narrowly, and Leeds to avenge my... we're going to get in trouble off Twitter again. They're going to tweet us, aren't they? Because they did that last time. Remember, you poked them with a stick, and they said, well, they're mobilising the troops.
Yeah.
And then they lost, didn't they? I think.
Yeah.
So Leeds by 4.
No, they beat London,
Oh,
didn't
they
they?
beat
The
London.
Magic Weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, close, though.
I'm going to be honest. I think Catalans have gone. I think they've gone at the game. Absolutely gone at the game. There's something wrong there. Not quite as rotten as it is at Leeds, according to Kevin Sinfield. Hopefully he's managed to pull himself away from England duty and might actually get some players in by the weekend.
Destiny's in their own hands, Leeds.
It is. And I do think Leeds will win, and I think Leeds will win quite easily. I'm going Leeds by 16.
With 6 points down, that's 22.
Yeah, exactly. Right, that is it. Any more business? Any other
I
business?
don't think so. I think we've done everything. haven't
Very
we?
good. Thanks to Gary. As
Pleasure.
ever. Thanks to Phil, as ever. Thanks to you, Richard. Thanks to everyone.
Thanks to Blue Tack.
Thanks to Blue Tack. This show is sponsored by Blue Tack. Yeah, there you go. So we'll be back next week. Send us all your predictions in, because them that did last week actually all won, so that was great.
And next week it's the legend's birthday, the 1st of July, so send all your great messages as well to the legend. 46 next week.
Cake.
Okay.
46, what about your waist size? What about your age?
That's a bit harsh. That's a bit harsh, Mr.
Are
Wilson.
you out with Nigel at the
That's,
weekend?
that's a bit harsh.
Are you out with Nigel at the
I
weekend?
don't know. He's,
Bradford
At home?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Bradford
Bradford
Witness.
Witness.
Yeah.
He'll be taking you out for your birthday.
He'll be on his way back at this moment. I would imagine first class 39,000 feet. I would imagine he'll be in contact around about Thursday. Don't forget the birthday cake next week. Thank you.
See you later.